again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. Let's see if I can back away from the camera just a little bit. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. Man, I am so excited once again, sincerely, to be doing this again today. And for those of you who are already here, saying hello, blessings to you, man. I truly feel so blessed to be alive, to be who I am, to be where I am, to be how I am in the world today, man. Compared to others, I got it pretty good. And I'm not here to brag to you, especially if you're tuned in and you're struggling right now. I get it. I really do. But I'm very grateful. And I'm always wondering, where is today going to lead? Who's going to show up? What are we going to talk about? What's going to happen here when I hit go live and I do the Chats with Jack and the live stream? One never really knows, because holy shit, I pay attention to me. Some of the crazy things I say, I get it. I get the confusion. I even get the mockery. I get a lot of things. And people often underestimate me. I've cautioned the viewers and the participants, cautioned people, please don't underestimate me. Don't assume the worst in me or others. That's a life lesson right there from Jack Talcott. I've lived over half a century already. You know that? That's a long time, dude. And I'm not a dummy. I've traveled around. I've met a lot of people. You do that and it changes who you are. I'm the result of this amazing adventure through time and life here on Earth. And I've learned how to simplify my own life. And the goals I have, man, the dream that I want to talk about today, it'll simplify your life as well. And the lives of everyone who you care about. Because after all, man, that's what ending wars is all about. And I spent some time today alone. Here, let's address the obvious too. Actually, let's start where Jack starts, man. I've already got a guest in the back, but well, it's a surprise. We'll get into that in a little bit. Today's Tal quote and thumbnail, it's a Tal question. I won't get into how this thought came up, but maybe we'll talk about it later. The Tal question, do you trust yourself to be honest? Or do you tend to make excuses that feel reasonable to you? See, I used to do the latter, and then I chose to do the former. I chose to trust myself to be honest, and then I committed myself to doing so. And if you follow the logic, it makes simple and obvious sense, which is another topic I'll talk about later, how fools deny the obvious. But the obvious path that I found just by trying it out and testing it proved to work. Honesty is the path for divinity, for peace, for love, for joy. The path may appear rocky and painful to tell someone, hey, I got to let you go. You're not good for me, right? Or to tell a habit or a job or some sort of relationship to be the honest one. That's tough. I spoke to a friend today earlier. Anyway, the path may appear rocky and painful, but the rewards of rising above or pushing beyond the pain. Think about that. Think about the memories you can gain by overcoming, by doing what is right. That can never be taken away from you. That can never be replaced, right? Unless you choose to let go of the memories of good times and of success. And the only way you can let go of those, it's only temporary that we do. We lose sight of the good times and the memories and the success. And then we start feeling all these inadequacies and we start giving power to excuses. And man, what's going on in the world today? There's no excuse, none whatsoever. I can't find any logic or reasoning behind the world continuing to ignore what's happening in the economics, the politics, the absolute suffering of others in this world. It's time for it to end. I'm confident of that. I'm pretty clear in my purpose, and I've got a couple of things prepared and to share, but we've got a guest I invited back. We were communicating earlier, and here, before I do, the obvious, right? I'm not at home in Baltimore right now. I don't have the fireplace of Spokane behind me either, but I'm still visiting my friends, Rose and Jason of Crow 777. And if you're not familiar with that yet, I should have a link, but I encourage you to check them out too. Where was I going? Yes, so I'm still in New Orleans, but things are coming together. I see so many amazing pieces happening, not just for me, but for others around me. And the future that I can see and I can envision for us, oh my God, it just makes me want to stay up at night because I don't want to sleep. I'm just so excited about what the future possibilities are and can be simply by working together, right? And with that, I'm going to bring forward another man who's younger than me for sure, but he also kind of triggers people and attracts people. So, welcome back, Landry.
When you say triggers people, do you mean like triggers egos?
Yes.
That's what you say about you a lot. I never knew that about myself, I guess.
Probably not. I didn't realize it about me either.
Do you think that sorry, just getting this right. Do you think that a lot of people have that trait, or is it more rare, or is it pretty common? Maybe like half of the people in the world.
I actually think this is part of the universe's design. We attract people that are different than us, and then we learn about our weaknesses and our strengths through the different people. And so the ego is that part that has the identity of who I am, and I'll never do this, I'll never do that. Want to bet?
That's a good point, man. It's great. That's why we always got to be careful about those things. And yeah, I mean, I'm feeling as though it's a good time to be in the positive mode, the positive zone. We can always turn a bad day around.
That's what I've started reminding myself of. That simple act. You might have a bad moment in a day, but it doesn't have to destroy the whole day. It doesn't have to destroy a week or a month or a year. We can move forward. Shit happens. Let it go.
Absolutely. 100% with you. So is there anything that you wanted to get into specifically today? I'm in your court. We're in your territory, so I want to be respectful.
I appreciate that. I've got a lot of exciting things. I certainly want to share that clip from Loki. I got a shout out for those. You know what? Let me just do it a little shout out right now. There's in my path, I came across some artists who really stood out to me, and this man, Loki. Where have I got that? I meant to do this. Actually, the link for him is already in the description. So I encourage you to check out his music. He's an artist and a journalist, and he does a lot of powerful reporting on what's going on in Israel and the Palestinian conflicts over there. The man he's a voice that should be heard. And so a friend of mine I met through the online stuff was able to attend his concert last night. And so I was.
Hey, you said to talk a brother up, Jack, so I did.
Yes, Jack, how you doing? Much love and respect to you. She came and took the brother up. I appreciate you spreading the word. Live without fear, peace and love. Respect, brother.
Thank you, man.
That's more like it.
Live without fear, peace and love, man. He gets it. He really does get that. And he's a voice who inspired me. There's a lyric from one of his songs I heard. I can't remember it exactly, but he made the comment that he's here to destroy the society that created him.
That's a good.
And I was like,
good quote,
dude. That is me. I am this society that created me. It messed me up so much. I did things to myself I'm not proud of, and I know a lot of other people have done things to themselves and to others they're not proud of.
Probably everyone at some point or another, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and that's what it's all about. We're here to learn, and to learn we make mistakes sometimes, but yes, Arpol, I started early. I was filled with inspiration today. Part of this was, the little shout out by someone I admire greatly. And I really do. I'm gonna be, man. This is what people don't get about me. I'm dead serious. It's very possible that I'm going to achieve great things in this world. And that will mean that Jack Talcott is known around the world. And those who interact with me, they're a part of this. Everyone is creating their own character, showing their own character to me in my life, just like everyone shows their own character to you, and you show your character to others. That's what we are. We're part of each other's stories. Every day we're creating history, and I'm documenting my history and my life and my efforts each day online. And there's many like me. Yet I tell you what, there's something unique happening with me and my life, and I'm so excited. If you could feel the feelings I feel right now, the pleasure and the peace that's flowing through me, I'm pretty confident that this is how we're created to be. I've been following the ways of Jesus. And today what stood out to me is how fools deny the obvious. There should be no doubts amongst our species about God. None. There should be zero doubts at all. Yet there are. People are filled with doubts. People are filled with worry. People are filled with fears. Why? Because mind control, propaganda, and conditioning works. We learned it by taming animals and studying the animals that people are, we being humanity, because that's what we are. We're reflections of the past, created to live today, to imagine and to take steps right now, take steps towards that future that we want. But fools give power to excuses, man. And I used to fool myself a lot, but not anymore. There's another clip I heard on Instagram earlier today. Guy was accurately describing America and the process, how America has been an experimentation. The systems have been experimenting on the American people, creating addictions to pharmaceuticals, addictions to chemicals, addictions to all sorts of things. The American people have been experimented on, and the systems broke the people. We got a lot of broken people in this world suffering deeply, greatly suffering from poverty, addiction, unhealthy, unnecessary conflicts. And these conflicts have been enabled. The only reason we've got wars here on earth is because people accepted that it was normal. It's not. Even these online arguments, this bullshit that people are playing, it's not healthy. It's not normal. It's not even very fun anymore, to be honest. I mean, let's face it, it's time for humanity to grow up. I think that's what we're here to do. Because my inspiration is real. I've got names and faces in my head already. Spiritual leaders, people who are online on YouTube, who are accessible through communication, right? We get some godly men together, godly men and women together. There's a lot of amazing scholars and leaders of both genders, I found. So we get some people of honor together and we address Donald Trump and the people in Congress. I'm pretty sure that's all we got to do. Seems pretty simple to me, man. Once you can see the plan, once you can see the answer and the solution, then the problems become irrelevant. And I see no more problems in this world. I see a world filled with beautiful, amazing, creative humans who aren't worried about paying bills, who aren't worried about avoiding punishments or, whatever. Jesus gave us everything we need. He showed us exactly how to bring heaven to the world. It's through us, our willingness, and our choices, and God's grace, truly. I'm really not crazy about the things I'm saying, because I know it's just the truth. Here, I'm going to flow a little bit, since I feel it's me. These ideas are real and true, okay? The words from the Bible, I don't have them memorized. I enjoy sitting and discussing and listening to people who do have the knowledge. They've dedicated their lives to learning scripture from holy words. Those words, they're there for our inspiration, for us to discover the meaning of, just like life is. Each day is created for us to be filled with inspiration, to be filled with joy, to be filled with happiness. But why don't we? We fool ourselves. Simple as that. The God who created us has everything perfectly designed. There's an order to it all. Just align to the perfection. Settle into the facts. Let your spirit let your body and mind settle, so that the spirit is with you, and invite the spirit that knows the answers, that's with you. Invite the spirit of you to reveal the answers through you, for you, and then pay attention. Pay attention inside of you to see what you feel, what you sense in the moment, in the present. And then pay attention as you go through your moments of the present, through the day, and listen. Listen to what you hear, because what you hear is for you in some form or fashion. And I've been learning how to trust in me, right? To be a man who I could trust to do the right thing. And I did so by committing myself to becoming honest, more honest with myself than I'd ever been before. And guess what that meant? That meant I had to accept my failures. I had to practice apologizing because I was wrong a bunch. I was wrong about a bunch of things, and I still have apologies to offer, but people pushed me away. So it is what it is. We're here and now, and God has allowed us another day to live, man. Yes, there is suffering. Yes, there is pain. But behind the suffering, behind the pain, beyond the suffering, beyond the pain is comfort, is rejuvenation, it's restoration. It's all just a beautiful picture of light and energy. And all of that light and energy, the source behind that is just this infinite love. God and love are not things. We have very little control over what the world shows us, but we have every bit of control on how we choose to live every day. And Jesus was the example. You can love. You can love without fear. You can love without worry. You can create that into the way that you live. But you got to be willing to love. You got to be willing to love others so that you can listen. You got to be willing to love those you really don't understand so that you can understand. And most of all, my friends, my brothers and sisters, the obvious is so simple, and the simple is so obvious. You're a fool if you deny yourself. Loving yourself. It's tough to love yourself if you're not honest with yourself, and you are with you day and night. It's a perfect design that God has offered us. The consciousness and awareness of life. What are you conscious of? What are you aware of? What is your perspective on everything? Are you ignoring everything to focus on one thing? Because that's what happens. It's so perfect. The way we are designed is so amazing. The way that time unfolds so perfectly. The planets, the stars, they're united to us through time. The number of variables, this was a thought I was considering earlier, the number of variables involved in every moment of our experience. It's so unbelievable. Like the physical structure that keep the energetic particles stable and in the right forms, in the right structures of density. And then the way that these unseen molecules of air and whatever, they help breathe us, and we got to have that. So all of that's involved. And then you also bring in the temperature qualities. Temperature affects things too, just like so many other things. It's just a magical, mind-blowing experience of life. It's all around you. Just when you think you've got it figured out, the universe will show you, no, you do not. At least that's happened to me over and over and over. And so here, I've got another question, and maybe this might be appropriate or not. Thank you for your patience, Landry.
Of course.
Flow a little.
No, yeah. So I wanted to offer you I'm making a conscious choice here right now. I'm going to engage with this with all sincerity. I'm going to be open and receptive to this. So I'm serious. I'm not being sarcastic here. I know that it might come across, but I'm being serious. I'm trying to like let loose because I do have a guard up a lot of the time. So let's see what we can make happen here. Just as far as I'm ready to be life coached. Hit me. What's the question you're gonna ask? Not with anything like specific. I'm just I'm saying is I'm making a conscious choice to
Hey.
come into this without a guard.
Thank you. I truly respect and appreciate that. Right there may be the key for your transformation. The willingness to look and to be looked at, right? And the willingness you prepared yourself for criticism, clearly, right? Because
And
that's
honesty.
and honesty. Yes, those are great. And that right there, that's how you escape your ego. You surrender to the fact that, hey, maybe I do need the input of others. Maybe I do need to consider what is new, what is different, right? Allow yourself to be different. We all have good days and bad days. We all get whatever. Shit happens. It's no joke. So if you can allow yourself just to relax into who you are today and right now, you're going to feel better. And that's the practice, dude. You just practice being better so that you can feel better about being you. Does that make sense?
A little bit. Some things are just unclear, but were you going to ask me a question?
Oh, it was a thought I had earlier, thinking about myself and others. What does a pleaser do when they're not pleased with themselves?
It's a good question. What does a pleaser? I mean, I guess it's an easy answer, right? They try to please others, right? Isn't it pretty simple? Or is there a missing link somewhere there? Am I wrong? Sorry, I don't know what I'm. Okay, cool. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to get it typed out so it'd be easier to see. What does a pleaser do when they are not pleased with themselves? If you go beyond the question, you would wonder, why would a pleaser not be pleased with themselves? Perhaps if they're hurt, right? So what does a hurt person do? Well, they seek control. So if a pleaser is not pleased with themselves, they may not actually be hurt, but they're hurt in their opinion. And so someone who feels hurt, seeking control, they'll kind of lash out at others, trying to control others. I saw this in myself. I see it in others. That's what these codependent relationships are. You get a pleaser with someone who controls and they just ridiculous, or you get two pleasers that don't please each other. They just wear each other out in their efforts, right? We all have those qualities, though. What are your thoughts, please?
I guess well, I mean, I've kind of been thinking about the dynamics of all these things a lot today, and how it seems as though humans just have an instinctual habit of getting into a two-sided circumstance, even without politics. It always just seems to happen, and then there's some truth, obviously, into saying, hey, what is it that I'm criticizing about you that exists within me? And so, because listening to that just now, I thought, well, I could easily just take that and be like, okay, that is totally this person and that person, but that would be the easy way, right? The smarter way would be to come into this and say, hey, I'm probably doing this in some way or some shape or form myself, and just to recognize that instead, because it's a better place to start. However, I think we are very cruel people in this space, and I can compare myself to others, but I can also say it does exist, but there's levels to it. You know what I mean? That's where it gets tricky and complicated, because I would love to sit here right now and be authentic and genuine and like vulnerable. And I mean, I'm trying to do this as much as I can, but the issue is that what's going to happen then? What's going to be turned and used against me in that case? It's already been done in the past, and I think it's holding so many of us back, is that where there could be drama or whatever and this and that can be somewhat just lighthearted and really not so serious. When it gets so serious that it's just making everyone just deeply uncomfortable, that's when it just seems to be an issue. And I know I'm kind of doing a tangent here, but my point is that I really I wish that's because that would be so much more beneficial, right? Because there's a deep rooted disconnection that we have to our lives now. We all have it. We're all here for the same reason. I think that it's we can deny it all we want, but I mean it's true. It's we're all dysfunctional. This part of the internet, particularly, this space, any outside observer comes and views it, and they're going to say like, "Whoa, that's a little bit unhinged and out there," But it's clearly that this is a dysfunctional group, and I mean I don't think it's our fault. I think that we are the result of our environments. We are the lottery of birth decides what we get to deal with, and it's all about perspective, right? We could be here or we could be in a third world country, and it's like, well, are my problems as real as theirs? Well, of course they are, because they're the only problems that I'll ever know. Because every day I have to wake up and be me, and that's just one thing that everyone can say about themselves, and it will be true no matter what. So sorry to go off on a tangent. I just got carried away.
You're just fine, man. There's a lot going on, and you did say a lot. Admittedly, my mind did only half listen to you. I didn't have.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it was more to just get it out,
It's beautiful. I didn't hear anything that I objected to. That's for sure. This comment, lighthearted, really, that's got to be our path forward. We got to be more lighthearted in order to forgive, in order to set the burdens down. And it goes together. This online experience, Landry, it's shown me a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned to trust most in God, sincerely. And I tell you what, all I need is a chance. Someone's got to be willing to set up a phone call or a video chat with me and Donald Trump for 30 minutes. Let's see what could happen, man. Because someone's got to do something. And I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to do anything. Elon Musk, I just got an alert on my phone. The Twitter stuff. Elon Musk, he's another guy I'd like to talk to. He could help easily. And he appears accessible. As I hear, he engages with people on the X platform. I just, I don't know. Hey, actually, you know what? I think that's pretty accurately observed. Landry, by his authenticity and his everything, by his involvement, he helped to reveal a lot of the hypocrisy in the community. Loosely termed, but I get it.
I mean, it is what it is, though, right? It is a community in a sense that's why a lot of people come here. I've seen some chats where there's like nothing even. I think Steven sometimes will just the video will end and the chat will be active because people are there for the chat. Sometimes I heard Snafu talking about that earlier today too. There is a communal aspect to it, but that's where it gets culty too. To where I hate to use that word, but all I mean is that what I mean by that is that people aren't listening to the person. Sorry, no, they're not listening to the words. They're picking a person. You know what I mean? They come in like, oh, these people are aligned. We're aligned like this today, and we'll say this and this and that. And I tried to avoid that. And I even had somebody today criticizing me for that and saying, why would anyone want to work with me because I'm, so unloyal. And I realized, you know what? That's a great sort of perspective that I need to kind of wrap my head around because maybe that's a good point. And that's why I've had a lot of trouble in my life, because I've always been this way. And you know what I mean? So I always feel as though, and I've been wrong before, so maybe this is a me issue. And maybe it's not like serving me in any good way. So I should probably be more aware of how that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? So I appreciated that.
It's interesting how, our good qualities can be bad, and even our bad qualities can be good. I learned how to, kind of manipulate my laziness. I accept it. I'm a lazy fucker, man. If there's an easy way to do something, I'm going to choose that. I'm going to find it and I'm going to choose that. I don't always successful. The other side of my laziness is I make things more difficult for myself. Real often. Hey, I see the questioning. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. You good with that? You feeling all right?
Yeah, yeah.
I figured as much. Here. Let me drop that and pin that. And for those who do wish to join today, please feel free. You're welcome to join the conversations with Jack and Landry today. I'm truly feeling great about our future possibilities. Because while you look at the news, and actually I think I've got the news pulled up. I didn't watch it yet today. But that was something I considered doing as well. We could watch the news together. At least what I tend to pay attention to.
Sure, whatever you think is good. As long as it's not AI news.
AI news. Well, actually, no, you're right. You're right. But along those lines is this. Let me see if I can figure this out. I don't know if this is AI generated or not, but I heard this guy. Listened to this earlier, and the words inspired me. So here, I dropped the link. Let me first do this. It's already in the chat or in the description, but I love the guy's music myself. First in the chat, there is the link for Low Key, the dude who gave a shout out for Live Without Beer earlier. And this is the Instagram thing. Let's see if we can get this going.
People of America. Not because they are weak, but because they were the first to see the machine from the inside. And I'm about to defend the working class of America like no one ever did. And by the time I finish, you'll see them with different eyes. For over a century, the American people have been fighting back. They have. Through civil disobedience, whistleblowers, grassroots movements, union strikes, and the relentless invocation of their constitution. The real battle wasn't red versus blue, it was corporation versus constitution. And every time the people gained ground, the system adapted. You have to understand something very important. When a system becomes parasitic, it doesn't destroy its enemies first. It destroys the host. And America has been the host. America was also the test lab. They were first to be flooded with addictive pharmaceuticals, first to be buried in weaponized debt, first to be psychologically fractured by engineered identity wars, first to be entertained into sedation, and first to be punished. Because if Americans woke up fully, it would be game over for the machine. That's why the system doesn't fear a foreign enemy. It fears the awakening of its own people. The American people are a hero, but no one told them they were living in the dragon's mouth. And what you're witnessing, in the collapse of trust, the social chaos, the inability to distinguish truth from manipulation, isn't because the people have failed. It's because the people have been systematically broken and then blamed for it. They are not the tyrants. They are the first line of resistance that's being crushed preemptively, so the rest of the world won't get any ideas. So what now? Do we abandon them? Do we mock them? Or do we finally recognize that behind the opioid crisis, the obesity, the division and the rage is a population in mourning? Mourning the death of its sovereignty, its family structures, and its purpose. The question isn't whether Americans deserve to be free. The question is whether they'll remember that they were born to be.
What he says.
Poor people of America.
Dude, yes. Will the people remember that we were created to be free? Or are we going to continue going along to get along and playing like Donald Trump and this money scam is important? Welcome, Girthquake. How you doing, buddy?
I am well. You know, the thing about that video is the guy is spot on. And, you know, I told you this before. It's the Trading with the Enemy Act. It's a program of economic warfare wherein the National Republic has forgotten its national view and has gone to a world view, including the world's opinions in that. And that's the dissolution of the republic, because now we're a democracy, just like somebody mentioned in the chat. This is a constitutional republic. And like, again, the man in the video pointed out, it's a battle between the Constitution and corporations. And it's these huge oligarchical corporations in that worldview that are destroying the local republic. And that the man is absolutely right. The Trading with the Enemy Act is the mouth of the dragon. It is the program of economic warfare. And if you understand, the US dollar is the world currency.
His line.
The guy was spot on. The guy was spot on. And people here on the American soil need to wake up to that. We have a strength that no other country has, because we have, like he said, been standing up for a century, while all the rest of the world has been slowly settling into their cognitive dissonance and slavery.
That's not true. There's been revolutions, revolts, there's been civil unrest all around the world, and people have been fighting back against the corporate greed that America sustains. So the part that stood out, there was a few parts he said that stood out for me. One of them was that the American people have become systematically broken and then blamed for their brokenness. And I thought about how true that was for me. Guys, that's exactly what happened with me. The system fucking broke me. I broke. I started laughing at authority like they were a fucking joke, because I realized they are. They're human beings just like me, getting paid for a paycheck. So I broke. The system broke me. And my purpose here is like just what that man said, whether it's real or not, the words are true. I'm here to help wake America up. That's why I want to speak to the men and women of Congress. Hey, we've got another guest here. Welcome back, Stephen. How you doing, my friend?
Hello, Jack. I'm here to help wake up America too. I joined right when you said that, and I am in favor of that. And I am a loving, gentlemanly king of the people. I'm someone that I'm trying to be on my best behavior lately.
You know, King Stephen, he's not a demon, but what does he really believe in?
Love, man. I believe in love and loving each other. I think that loving each other is a good thing. And I was glad to hear Jack correct El Perro and say that's not true, what El Perro was saying. There have been revolutions and people standing up in other parts of the world. Right before I joined, I heard that little bit. And it's good. I think El Perro needs to be corrected. Quite often he's saying things that are not true.
Okay, so in the
Yeah.
context of what I said, in the last 100 years, the man it is the American people that have been consistently bringing constitutional issues according to the Republic Constitution. The other nations don't do that. In their uprisings,
Right.
in their government, and
Mhm.
that is not something that happens on a regular daily basis. It's only when it gets so bad that a group of people rise up. Here in America,
Okay.
America,
Hey, can we please? I'd like to swing back. Sorry to interrupt, brother, but
no, you're not. No, you're not.
okay, you're right. I'm not. Thank you for stepping out. I wanted to, well, first of all, there's another guest waiting, and I kind of like the four anyway. So thank you for stepping out when you did. Welcome, Denizen.
Four looks so
Greetings.
nice.
Hey, I wanted to swing back to something King Stephen said, and while it was playful, I get it. Being a king of the people. I'm telling you, I've been thinking about the story of Jesus, the significance, what it's intended to mean. Jesus is king. He will always be king here on earth because that's the way the story was created to be. He's already shown us, he's given us everything we need to bring heaven to this world. What was lacking was the Father's will. See, it's through the Father's will and our will that things here on earth get done. But I've been praying for the Father's will for myself, for it to be revealed, for it to be known by me, because I want to be more like Jesus.
Me too. And that's part of what the king thing is about. But also the No Kings movement, I'm against that for obvious reasons. I mean, I am a king, but also I think they're against Jesus. I think they're saying no kings. They're not.
No,
They're not. I think a lot of them are against Jesus. I really do.
that's funny. There may be some. There may be some who don't like the idea of Jesus being king. But if you consider the symbolism of it, what if love was made to be king here on earth? And what if love is what we chose to serve? And what if love is what we chose to grow and to share in honor of life? I mean, it seems pretty obvious when you stop and think about it. And I've had plenty of time to stop and think all along.
Amen. Let
know.
love rule. If love rules, that changes everything here. It changes the whole world.
It does. And that's part of the story I believe that God is wanting us to know and to share. Love is that which brings the movement. Love brings emotion. Love brings the transformation. Through Jesus being perfected with love, his story goes beyond time. It's eternal. And it will transform the world. How do I know that? Because it created me and a lot of other men and women like me, people who have been touched by love, who have been following, doing the right thing all their lives. Here, we got another guest here, and I don't want to be rude. I like the smaller
You can give it to me.
group. Well, blessings. Hey, Moose, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing amazing. I heard you talking about, love, how we need more of it. So I saw you and Landria were up here. I saw Stephen was here. I saw things were actually seemed to be cordial since I popped in, and Den is in as well. So I thought, well, I know 5 is kind of a weird number on screen, but I'll try.
I'm glad you did. And Landry, thank you. Thank you for making space. He heard me say that previously, and thank you. And I'm glad you joined too. Perfect time. Things are going well. I was reviewing the last stream I did, not the one with the restream from Dusty, Powder Dusty, a couple of days ago, but the one before that. If you go back and you look through the Jack Talcott live streams, man, I get everyone here. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
And the other day was fun with Paul, and then Dusty shows up, and all these different characters.
I think Landry's coming around. I noticed he had a little heart background behind him, and I think that's Jack Talcott rubbing off on young Landry. He's got a heart, love. He's becoming more loving as things go on.
He was made that way, and I'm hoping I can help encourage and support him in his own personal growth and development. But he showed me, and it's in one of the videos he made. I can't remember the exact words, but he's got a tattoo on his shoulder, man, about love. He's made for love, with love.
Wow, I didn't know that. Does it say mom on it? Like a heart with mom?
No. It's something about loving the unlovable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe Jack can rub off on young Denizen as well and have an effect on him and get him to be more loving.
Loving the unlovable sounds a lot like
maybe
King
not
Stephen.
to you, Steven.
Even though I find you very abrasive, sometimes funny, oftentimes really rude and crude, I still love you, brother Steven. I may not like you at times, but I still love you.
Rude and crude. Come on, brother. I'm not rude and crude. I try to be very gentlemanly. It says in the Modern Men said in the chat, it says, I love Steven. I wouldn't doubt that. I think there probably are people in the Panelverse that have tattoos dedicated to me. There's a lot out there that do love me and have crushes on me. I wouldn't doubt that. That might even be true.
Bex has a lot of room for tattoos, so I'm sure she has a few.
Come on, that's a little bit mean. It's true, but
was
it's
that
a little
loving?
Bit mean.
It was in a loving way, but it probably wasn't the right words. So I'll refrain.
Here, yeah, there's so many fascinating characters, so many fascinating topics, such little time. I was considering that the other day. I used to think that life was so long. I spent so much time waiting. I was so bored so often. And now, dude, now it's totally different. Every day, I literally wonder, what am I going to do? Because I don't know. I have ideas of what I want to do. I've got a lot of goals and different things I want to get done, but I've been learning how to flow. And truly, guys, this is the way to live. Here, we got another guest here. I want to go ahead and bring him up. Welcome back, David Wayne. How you doing, brother?
How's it going? Hope everybody's doing good today.
Yeah, we are, David Wayne. I have nothing loving to say to you, sir, so I'm going to bow out. Jack, it was great seeing you. And it's nothing bad either. I feel like I'm going to, overstay my welcome, Jack. So I just want to say thank you for having me up. Steven, it's great to see you. Denizen, always good to hear you. And David Wayne, the crowd doesn't love you, but I do. Peace.
Have a good day, Moose. I was going to ask Jack, what do you think if somebody has an aversion or dislike to something that someone else has, like a women with tattoos? Should we just not say anything? How do we handle that when we dislike certain things? To be loving is what I'm getting at. What would be the proper way to handle that in your view?
That's a good question. I mean, my first answer is be honest. Truly, be honest. But then when it comes to being honest, one of the things I've been trying to figure out is when, right? When is the right time to share what you know? When is the right time to say what you're feeling or thinking? Because the right time, man, I mean, the right time works, but the wrong time, dude, you'll fuck
Sometimes
things up.
at wrong times is doozy.
Yep. People
What
are
if you've
finicky.
already made comments? Like, let's say someone has said those tattoos look ugly. You already kind of let the cat out of the bag. You don't like them, and they know that you're honest, but it kind of hurt their feelings. How would you recommend kind of mending things with the person to let them know, I might not like your tattoos. I don't like tattoos on women, but it doesn't mean I don't like you as a being. Like,
You
would
could say
that be a
that.
good thing to say? Or
Well, I think that is the right approach because you're entitled to your opinions, just like anyone else is entitled to theirs. But if you put the opinions in the perspective, right? That you realize, you show that the opinion doesn't define my my opinion of you, but this part of you, yeah, I don't like it. It's not for me. Right?
okay. Well, Trexty, I do not like your tattoos, as I've said in a video, but I don't dislike you as a person. I like you as a person, even though she talks about me a lot. She knows she mentioned their tattoos in the chat earlier. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. But
There's another
it doesn't
option
mean
too.
that I don't like her as a person. I think we could become friends one day.
You could shut your mouth. That's another option.
But she did mention it, so I wanted to address it because she mentioned it in the chat today. So I was trying to mend fences there. She knows I don't like tattoos on women, but it's okay. It doesn't mean that I dislike her entirely as a being just because she has ink.
Sure, but Stephen, and thank you, Dennis, and that's exactly what I was getting at. Sometimes you don't need to say anything. Sometimes you can keep your thoughts and your opinions to yourself, and it causes less damage, less
Amen.
destruction. So,
But I'm
Stephen,
trying to mend what's already, there's already kind of a rift. I'm trying to mend it between
yep.
me and Trexty.
Start
And
by not mentioning her tattoos.
well, I saw it. Trexty brought it up, and there was nothing wrong with him addressing it and asking and going down this road. But here's something else. I didn't bring it up in the chat. Previously, Stephen, in some of the chat regarding you and I turning a page, there were suggestions about you removing some of the content about me. Maybe that might be appropriate for Trexty as well.
Well, Jack, to be honest, I usually don't remove any content, and I do have my reasons for that. It shows my progress and it shows the past. I don't like to erase the past. There are some channels that hide
Yep.
what they've done and they
Yes.
remove all their videos, and I try not to do that. So if I'm guilty of something, it's on record and people can look back and say, Steven said this 2 months ago, 2 years ago. And I try not to hide anything that I've said or done. It's all, I'm trying to be as open and transparent as I can. What do you think of that, David Wayne?
That makes sense. There's going to be degrees like how bad is it kind of thing,
Are you doing news streams
It's not that
to
bad.
recant?
I did a stream last night. I didn't make fun of anybody. I don't do what you do, Dennis, and you bash me every time you see me, dude. So come on, let's get real here. But go ahead, Jack.
Did you try saying nice things about Jack in your news stream and saying you had been
I've been
wrong in the
saying very
past?
nice things about Jack Talcott all over the internet, on my channel and on other channels.
I think he has. And Stephen, I get what you're saying. I'm similar in that as well. I want the record to be right. I've done and said what I've said. However, there may be one or two that I did put to private, and that might be what I wouldn't ask you to get rid of anything, not
I may
destroy.
consider it, but Trexty has also been talking bad about me for months. She's never apologized. So it does work both ways. It's a two-way street, as they say. Trexty, you got to do better. You every time I come here, it's Steven this, Steven that. You got to do better than that if you want those videos privated. You still have the attitude towards me. If you wanted to come on my show and have a conversation the way that Landry did, I'd be happy to have a one-on-one with Trexty as a guest, and we could resolve things on my show instead of taking up time and space on the Jack Talcott show.
Well, fair. anything is possible, and that seems reasonable. And Trexty, I don't think you totally got her. And maybe she hasn't totally got you either.
I don't think she
That's a
totally
big
has me
dog.
either, Jack. I really don't.
That's a big dog.
Yes, it is. She's got a beautiful beast. And actually, you know what? Since there's more people here, I'm going to brag again just for a little bit, because our friend Trexty was kind enough to get me this. A little shout out once again from a man who I truly admire. His link is in the description, low key. And thanks to Trexty, I got this.
Hey, you said to talk a brother up, Jack, so I did.
Yes, Jack, how you doing? Much love and respect to you. She came and took the brother up. I appreciate you spreading the word. Live without fear. Peace and love. Respect, brother.
Thank you, man.
That's dope.
That is dope, especially if you know who he is.
I don't know who that
He's an
guy
excellent
is.
rapper.
Yes.
Oh,
And he raps about truth and peace.
Yes.
interesting.
His link is in the description. I encourage people. I invite you, please check him out. He's not just an artist, rapper. He's also a journalist. He is so well informed on the Middle East conflicts and with the politics in the UK. He does excellent reporting on what's going on with facts, not just opinions.
Wow.
And
Does he know Jay-Z, that guy?
I wouldn't know. I don't think he's that big. He's a powerful.
I never heard of him. What's his name again? I'm going to look it up.
Here.
Low key.
I got it right here.
Because there's a Loki in Viking lore. Loki. Loki. A trickster
low
god.
key.
Yeah.
As in
So this
the
is
opposite of high.
Low key. Okay.
Oh, here. Wonderful.
Spelled
Thank you,
different.
Art Pole. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, low key topic. I play his music, but well, why don't I? What does that do? Let's see.
Might be copyright though.
Oh, I'm sure it would be, but I don't monetize my stuff, man. Trying to remember which songs.
Shout out to Salty Siren in the chat. She said, ladies love El Diablo. She's out here in support, it looks like.
Track of music, gonna take more than a sit down with Bassem Youssef. Even bringing back ambassadors is an act that's useless, long as you pump oil for Apaches and the tanks they using. One can live after digging for their dead kids buried under bricks. Israel is a terror state, terrorists that terrorize. I testify my television televised, I'm telling lies. This is not a war, it is systematic genocide. But whatever they try, Palestine will never die. They're not.
His words and his music, they move me. So I encourage people, check him out. We have some amazing voices alive today. There's truly heroes all around the world. I encourage people, start watching for the heroes. In every tragedy, there are heroes who arise. Watch.
Yes. Yes. Mr. Rogers said that too.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He said that his mom taught him that when there's a disaster to look for the helpers and heroes that come in and help people. I'm surprised. The Jack Talcott's full of surprises. I didn't expect you to be a hip hop fan. I had no idea that you would be a fan of a guy like Loki. I had no clue.
Oh man. Hey, I'm hoping I'm hoping that that eventually there's a lot of people I hope to meet, people I truly admire, and I'd love to get permission from Low Key to use some of his music and do something pretty cool with me, you know. But not just him. There's many who I admire. And I think big, guys. I really do. Oh, that lesson of look for the heroes. For me, I was there present, but a safe distance away from the Las Vegas shootings a number of years ago. And so I could hear the machine gun fire. And at first, I just thought there might be a gun range nearby because there's some crazy shit. You can do anything you want pretty much there. So I thought maybe there was just a close gun range, but no, that's not firecrackers. That's automatic fire. And then I saw the lights and the sirens, and I heard some of the emergency responders on the news saying, please get out of if you're in this direction, get off of the roads. We're trying to get there, right? I heard the heroes. I saw the heroes, and I didn't even see how bad it was, but I had friends who were there, so this life we're living in, it really does depend on your perspective. That's what makes it all. And
yes, amen. That's true. And I think the word heroes has been watered down in our society too a bit and misused. We should respect the true heroes. People will say, oh, you're a hero, you ordered tacos for us or something like that. Sorry about my voice, but they'll kind of use the word improperly, whereas I think it should be given respect, that word, because the true heroes are heroic.
Everything is perspective. I've done small things for others and learned later that that was pretty significant to them, that I was a hero helping them in that moment. And to me, I just thought I did something simple. It seemed like the right thing to do, and I did it. This is something that life has shown me. We truly do influence one another much more than we may realize. And that's why it's so important what we choose to do. And what we choose to do, there's no escaping the power of your mind. If you've got a quitter's mindset, you're going to quit. You got a winner's mindset, you'll find a way to win. But we live in this world that we do, like that other Instagram video was talking about. We've been brainwashed. The systems have systematically broken the people. This is what I learned from the work of Dr. Gabor Mate and his observations on trauma. We've got a society, not his words, but my interpretations. We've got a society that profits from trauma. And this is prophetically the beasts that have risen from the land and the sea. It's the maritime law. It's the common law. It's been distorted and corrupted. And so we
the beast of Babylon, of Moloch. Yes, the beast.
It is. But there's other ideas I had earlier regarding chaos and order. Trust in order. Trust in righteousness. Trust in justice. You'll find those things. And when you find those things, the order, the justice, the righteousness, you're on the way. And when you find those things, support those things in others. When you see someone doing the right thing, saying the right thing, doing the right thing, encourage them, share some encouragement so they get extra good feelings for what they do. We all want to be recognized. But in this world of division, everyone's been taught to distrust. And it's real easy when you distrust. You can find all sorts of flaws, all sorts of excuses will show up for us. And that's why That's why this is a question I encourage people to ask yourself. Do you trust yourself to be honest, or do you tend to make excuses that feel reasonable to you? Here, let me back off. You guys always have wonderful things to say too. Please.
Some people do make excuses, and I think they hide from life. They'll sit around playing video games and kind of hiding in their home, and they don't face reality. A lot of us, we need more people participating, is what I'm getting at. It would be great for, there's millions of young men that do that these days. And if they would kind of get out there and realize there's life to be lived, that's my advice for the youngsters.
Well, it can apply to you as well, my friend, because you may not be playing video games, but ask yourself, what games are you playing compared to what else could be accomplished?
Well, I don't really play games, Jack. I just I try to be authentic and loving, and I go out hiking and stuff like that. But I don't think this is accurate by Trexty. For months, she has made many insults in chats here about me, and I'm not focused on it. It's just I'm moving forward. But that's the thing. Nobody is innocent in terms of back and forth. It's kind of a two-way street.
Stephen, you've got to accept responsibility, dude.
I already have.
Maybe she just shared comments, and then you chose to find insults.
No, she's been insulting in past live streams, not today, but in the past.
Well, I'm getting an echo from you, Stephen. If you can do something about that, please. I know Trexty. I feel I know her reasonably well. We've had a number of conversations.
Is this
together.
better?
It's when I'm speaking that I'm getting the echo. I think it is. Thank you. Thank you. She has criticized you. Probably no doubt in that. And maybe the criticisms were found to be insulting. But the main thing is she accurate? Because the truth is often insulting, especially if it reveals that we're wrong. And she's saying, I'd happily apologize. Never asked you to remove the mockery of me on your channel. And she didn't. I chose to do that. So you get to decide, Stephen. But I tell you what, Stephen and my friend Trexty, both of you, I see you kind of maybe reacting to each other. So that means you're a test for each other. Stephen was a test for me in some ways. And I know I've tested Denizen. Maybe he's tested me too. This is what we are. We are blessings and tests for each other. The goal for all of us is to refine and improve our own character. Now, we do improve ourselves by being in service of others. When you help someone else improve, you improve yourself. You're a better character. But so many people want to run around trying to control each other. And
yes, she did try to say, not today, but other times, take the videos down. I took it as being controlling. I'm kind of like Jack in that respect. I don't like to be told what to do with my own channel. So that's part of it. If I said, Jack, take a video down that you were critical of me, I don't think he would do it. And I'm very similar. And when God said in the Bible, I am what I am, I relate to that. I am what I am. Hey,
you're
Hank.
not God, though. You got room for improvement. Hey, welcome to you, Hank. How are you, my friend?
Well, I didn't claim to be God, but I'm a piece of God. Hello, Hank.
You're a piece of something, all right.
Yes. Hey, Jack. So I have a question for your co-host, King Steven. So someone's echoing.
That's rude, Denizen. Hello, Hank.
Yes. So King Steven, I thought we were cool. But you had me hitting on El Diablo Radio International. Why is that?
Oh, I was muted by Jack. Why is that, Hank? I didn't know that I had you muted. Maybe one of my mods muted you. I don't know.
Well, I didn't post anything till yesterday, so only you could have hit me.
No, I didn't hide you. I don't know when you were hidden or why.
Oh well, we're back in the loop.
Yeah, you know what, Stephen? The echo's still here, and it seems like you're becoming a distraction at the moment. So I'm just going to take a break from this. And because I do trust Trexty, don't know her to be manipulative. And frankly, Stephen, you compared yourself to me, and you want to be seen like me. And I appreciate that, and I respect that. But there's a big difference. If you came to me and said, "Hey, Jack, I don't like this," I would have a conversation with you. I would invite a conversation with you, and let's discuss. You know, and Stephen, truly, you're bastardizing people online publicly, showing yourself as a character who bastardizes people online publicly. The fact that you can't see the downside of what you're doing, dude. What are your thoughts, Denizen, Hank? Am I wrong or out of line here?
No. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and put my judgment on hold for a while, just to experiment with some extreme humility. I recently realized that I wasn't lacking in humility. It was just in the face of the lack of humility I found difficulty. So I'm going to retrain that. I'm going to kung fu that and respond to hubris with more humility. That's going to be my goal.
I love it.
Yeah.
I truly believe that
It will be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge.
That's why you know it's the right test for you. Test it out. Test it out and see how it works. But I did the same thing. I came to that conclusion when I was just getting angry and frustrated, failing to communicate with these people in the online panels. So I realized there was no winning.
Right.
And yet, through surrender, you let the truth win. And by surrendering to humility, you find that strength in the face of the hubris and the arrogant and the just disgusting and the wrong.
Dude, it's so hard.
Right? It is. Because they go on and on and on.
Yeah, and they can, it's the lack of reaction too will make them quadruple down on lies and nastiness.
It's fascinating, man. Fascinating. Hey, and for the record, certainly, Trexty did not ask for anything to be removed. That was Jack. And hey, people can do what they want to do. Denizen, this is what I had to accept. There's no change in anybody. Not until they want to change.
Yep.
I thought I could convince people that they wanted to change. I haven't found the way yet. And yet I have. I've had a lot of success in helping people. I think a lot of us have, but we don't really see it because the world doesn't always offer us attaboys.
And you focus on the 100 people that you couldn't influence instead of the 2 or 3 that are living entirely different lives because of your input and wisdom.
Yep, that's me. And just so you're aware, I mean, Denizen, you're one of the communicators that I've admired. Your ability to listen and stay grounded, composed in the face of nonsense. You're doing pretty good, dude. And
I don't
Hank,
know. I feel like a complete failure at it.
I've felt that many times too. Hank, I've got memories of Hank in the face of nonsense doing real well too.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's time. Go ahead.
yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good with nonsense, but I really need to start to leverage my tools for better. Since I'm using Linux, I have hundreds of thousands of tools. I've like probably 60 gigabytes of software for free. It's in my repository right now, but I don't barely know to use a tenth of a percent of it. So I need to leverage my tools better.
Here. Sorry. It seems Stephen wants attention from the chat. So from the back.
That's fine. Let's see what he has. You can bring him to the front to see if he has something nice to say.
Well, he's trying to present the case that he was a great guest today. And in part, he was. I won't deny the good aspects. But the echoes were unacceptable.
Especially from a king. Get your audio straight.
Did you fix your audio, Stephen?
How's this? Is this better?
Well, it happens when you're unmuted and someone else is speaking. So let's see. Seems like it may be fixed. Thank you. And Stephen, yes, you are free to run your channel however you choose. Okay. I'm not sure what you're really wanting to communicate here.
About removal of videos. A lot of people try to blackmail me. In the past, I'm speaking about beyond today to clarify.
Yeah.
Not just here on your channel, but others as well. And I don't cave into terrorism and threats and blackmail and
I
pressure.
know, but you
I just
cause
run my
it.
channel as I want.
But Stephen, this is where you've got to look at yourself honestly. You cause those problems with others, right? With your vileness and your.
I disagree. You don't know the full story.
I know, Stephen. That's the problem with you and me. You don't want to respect when people disagree with you. And it's a habit that I'm encouraging you to break.
You're free to disagree. I respect that. I'm saying I disagree with you.
Right. So go away, Stephen. You still want to play a character and be a joke. You're not being honest. You're pretending to be honest. You're pretending to love. And yet when called out on your unhealthy behavior, you've just filled with fucking excuses, dude. Go grow up, Stephen.
I have to agree with Jack. Stephen doesn't understand how push-pull. He doesn't understand negotiations. I'm the thing. You just do what I tell you. And then you just try to use all kinds of force and braiding and anything to get what he wants. But the thing is, either people can just push back and then you're just fragile or just disappointing. Because once someone pushes back, you're always crying and whining and screaming. That's so annoying.
It's fascinating how foolish people are, how stubborn people are. To me, there's no logic in denying what is obvious and true. Is there? Well, this is the question I want to ask the men and women of the United States Congress. It is obvious and true to me and many others that Donald Trump is not leading America in the right direction, particularly with the support of clearly identified war criminals such as Benjamin Netanyahu. Right? The guy's already under corruption in his own state. He's under charges and investigation of corruption in his own state. And yet our national president here in America seems I think the men and women of Congress should do a better job since they hold the purse strings and they could stop funding the murder and genocide, the support of murder and genocide that's been happening and going on. I mean, I'd like to have 30 minutes of time with Donald Trump. I know it's a lot to ask, but I trust God's going to help me find a way. Yeah, thank you, Arpol. I saw this too. Maybe I should play that.
Yeah, I should probably play that. Yes.
Yes. Where have I got that? Dozens of delegates walk a beach.
Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall, and please be seated.
I fear this plays right into his hands, unfortunately.
Possibly. I mean, that's what
it's what he deserves, but
narcissists and bullies will do.
Yeah.
Playing it into his agenda. One of the things I heard is that I heard pointed out by one of the news reporters is while all those people walked out, you're sure you can count on them listening. They're going to hear what he has to say. And I also understand they may be playing his words in loudspeakers in Gaza. So whatever he had to say, which I haven't heard yet, it affects a lot of people. And these UN assemblies, we've had American representatives vetoing ceasefires. That's unacceptable to me. And I want it to be unacceptable to a lot of others. Because when people get pissed off for the right reasons and we unite with other people who care, we're going to find a way. What else are we going to do with our lives? I can't think of anything better. I can't think of anything better than living my life as me, being true to me and what I want from this life. I want to leave the world a better place than when I got here. And I've had it pretty good my whole life. I don't know. What are you guys thinking?
Well, if this is playing into Benjamin Netanyahu's hands, I hope he's really good at hot potato then.
You hope he's what?
I hope he's really good at hot potato if he thinks this is playing into his hands.
You know what? He's got the support. He's got the support he needs. So as long as he doesn't really screw up or expose those who are on his side, he's going to keep getting away with it. But it's all going to change soon because the people in Israel are standing up. People in America are standing up. All around the world, people are standing up. And they're saying, hey, enough is enough. And I'm telling you, we bring the right people together. And this idea seems to make sense. Let's get some truly godly men. Some truly godly men and women. Not religious fanatics, but people who truly know. Let's get them to help educate the men and women of Congress, including and especially Donald Trump. We could have godly men, true scholars and scientists, people who are well informed, well educated, well respected. I mean, this is just an idea I had, but it seems like it's the right way to do things. Because it's time the voices of the righteous are heard. Those of you who are tuning in, if you feel or find the righteousness from what you hear here, please timestamp it in the comments. And invite others. Ask others. Do you know Jack Talcott? Have you come across Jack Talcott yet? Send him my way. And then we'll keep growing. And actually, send him my way, not just online, but feel free to offer my number, my email. It's easy to find. We live in a day and age of technology, man. What's the point of trying to hide things? I'd rather just live openly and honest. Hope for the best. Trust in the best. That's what I've been training myself to do, Denizen, is trust in the best. Oops. Well, hey.
That's definitely a leap of faith.
It is, but there's logic behind it. We got Joseph in the back, but it's not loading up. So if he shows up, I'll address it. What did you just say? Sorry.
It definitely takes a leap of faith to trust in the best.
It does. But there's the logic behind that is, what's your options? Do you want to trust in the worst? No. You want to trust that the best is possible. That's for sure. Welcome, Joseph. How are you today? Joseph, are you there? All right. Maybe having audio problems. In the comment, it says I keep breaking up as well, so I'm not sure what's going on. Hey, maybe these are signs. Maybe these are signs that enough is enough. It's time to start a new project. What are you thinking or feeling? Denizen? Actually, please pause. Joseph, are you there? You're muted if you are. And seeing no change, we'll do final words together. What are your thoughts, my friend?
I'm going to go check out what Netanyahu said, I think.
That's not a bad idea. I actually, you know what? Instead, there's another option. You just reminded me. I had the news pulled up. I haven't watched the news yet for today, and I plan to anyway. So, anyone want to watch the news with me? Hear my commentary on what we find.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. And there was that.
Hello?
Yes.
Am I coming through?
Now I think you are.
Okay, sorry, I was having technical issues.
No worries.
Greetings.
What's up, Benzian? How goes it?
Truly blessed. How are you?
Oh, living the dream, Jack. Living the dream.
All right. Were you joining with anything specific or just to be a part? I'm good
Yeah, it was
either way.
actually a weird coincidence. I heard you just say you were talking about the news. I wanted to talk to you about your views on immigration and how the Trump administration is handling it.
It saddens me, and it
You want to
disgusts.
maybe
What
suss out your position a little bit more?
is that topic of importance to you? I mean, in some way.
It was like in the top three issues for me voting for him. So I'd say it's important. Yeah.
Here, tell you what, Denizen, please. I'm going to leave for just a moment. I'll be right back. I'm going to try resetting my connection. It sounds like there's issues with my audio.
Yeah, reboot your computer too. It looks like it's your camera. So, immigration?
Yeah, I mean, happy to talk to you too, Denizen.
Sure. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think Trump could go a little bit harder, and I don't like his capitulation into this idea that he only ever intended to do like criminals and like a certain subset of immigration. I think you should go, if you're here illegally, get them out and stand behind it. So I'm pretty hard right on that.
Why is that?
Because it's what's best for our country, I suppose, in a nutshell.
Sure. I'm looking for how or why you think that is.
I don't believe in multiculturalism, number one. And number two, I don't think that the proper response for a lack of worker shortage is to import other countries' people. Like, for instance, I'm from Minnesota. Minnesota is having a really bad worker shortage. So what the governor did is, in unison with the federal government, they brought in a lot of Somali from Africa. And while, you help your worker shortage out a little bit, there's no assimilation. What you actually see happening are enclaves set up where they have like their own market districts and their own language on their shop signs. And then like the day-to-day interaction it's kind of uncomfortable, I suppose you could say. I don't hold it against them for wanting to retain their culture, because I would want to do the same. I just don't believe you should bring it to my doorstep, right?
Yeah, you're regurgitating a lot of news media propaganda. It's likely. I love the questions you asked, Denizen. And Joseph, I mean no offense, and I'll certainly flush out the answers with you.
Sure.
Sorry. The immigration thing. I'm assuming you feel that's an important issue because you feel that somehow America is a special place. Is that true?
Can you say that again?
The immigration issue is important to you because you feel that America is a special place to you and you want to protect it. Is that fair?
I would reframe it as my home, but then the rest is correct.
All right. So you feel that and is your home near a border?
The Canadian border.
Okay. So you are near a border. And so
Yes.
you feel that border enforcement to protect you from the Canadians and any other immigrants is a good expense. Is that right?
I mean, I never brought up the Canadians, but
Well,
in
it's the nearest
general,
border, right? That's the nearest border to you.
yep. Location wise, yes, it is.
Yeah. What I'm suggesting is you reconsider what you think is really important. Okay.
Well,
Because
here, If I may, just so we're on the same page, Jack. My contention
Mhm.
was illegal immigration, which means that we as a country decide who we let in, and Trump
Yeah,
is tackling illegal. I mean,
I know. I
otherwise, what
know.
are we talking?
Please. I don't need his excuses. You know his excuses probably better than I do. But the excuses aren't good enough for me.
So
See,
why should we allow illegal immigration, Jack?
how about
Why should we turn a
you
blind eye to it?
tell you what, Joseph, why don't you chill the fuck out?
I am
Stop
chill.
stop interrupting me. Okay? You clearly showed up for a single topic, which is just one tiny fracture of what I actually look at. Okay? But we can narrow down this conversation to talk about what you want, but you better be fucking respectful, dude. And I'm not playing around, clearly.
I've been more respectful than you have so far, but go ahead. I'll try even harder. Okay.
Are your interruptions more respectful?
Listen, they're no slight against you. All right, that's just normal discourse. All right, but
No,
I'll
Joseph.
try to do better for your sake. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that because you are totally insignificant to me. I want you to
Yeah.
know that. So
Jack, your voice is trembling.
You're a guest here with me, and it looked like the reason you weren't speaking was you chose to jump on and restream me somewhere. So
That's me.
Oh, is that you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well timed, and thank you for correcting me. My assumptions. All right. He wants to discuss the immigration status. Denizen, where you were going was the right direction. I didn't pursue that far enough. I could have kept asking questions because if he'd think about what he's saying, he'd realize he's been conditioned to fear. And that's
Yeah, or
bullshit.
he'd give me a good reason, which I was waiting for. A reason without another alternative solution too, which is where I sit on immigration, because I realize these corporations are deliberately importing cheap labor, and they're doing it to undermine us, our families, our economy, to steal our resources, one of which is our national labor force. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? These people could be paid fairly. We could be paid fairly. Money could be spent, instead of rounding families up, could be spent on job training and adding, things like workshop and home economics and civics back to our schools. I don't know where the hell that shit went. So it doesn't have to be us versus them. That's deliberate.
Thank you. That's the bigger picture. They profit when we are divided. Because I learned this in a race and relations, a labor history class with a focus on race. Dr. Bill Fletcher, amazing dude. With every division, you will find a preferred side, a preferred class. And with that preference in the division is going to come more privilege. And with the privilege will come control. And by the control, then you have oppression. And when you have oppression, you've got exploitation. When you got exploitation, you've got hell on earth. And that's what we've created here, because mankind has chosen to believe we're all divided and we need this authority. Let's answer Joseph's question. What do I think about what Donald Trump is doing regarding the immigration status here in America? I think he's doing a piss. My internet went out here for a moment. Calm down, Jack. It pisses me off because we've got national deployed and active duty members who have been deployed here in U.S. soil. We've got a commander-in-chief who's recruiting, using military tactics of recruiting young men and women, and they're going for the older men and women too into the ICE agency. And this ICE agency goes around with masked men carrying weapons, kidnapping people, busting their windows in. I've seen the videos, I've seen the images. No reason, there's no wonder the communities are uniting together, saying, no, you're not going to kidnap this guy. That's what we need too. We need people to unite against the systems of foreclosure, against the processes of eviction that take good men and women out of their shelter. Why? Because they couldn't find a paycheck. They didn't have the family to look out for them. They didn't have the friends and the connections to help them thrive. We've got a sick and twisted world, man. So, Joseph, welcome back. I hope you heard
Thank
my
you.
answer.
I was just hoping for more of a discussion than a monologue or like an anger. There's no need to be like combative with me. I'm just here to talk about it and suss out your opinion. That's pretty simple. And I want to keep you focused on the issue I brought up, and that was illegal immigration. So how do you feel? Because in my opinion, I think a community ought to be able to dictate the circumstances around them. So if a community says these are the rules, you come into my country, you break them. Well, the response from the Trump administration is the reacting from the last popular vote, right? So I'd like, if you have an issue with enforcing the law, then tell me why I ought not be able to dictate who's in my community or like in my country.
How about you address the answer I already gave while you complained about the way I delivered it? I don't think you listened to what I said. You didn't even acknowledge anything I said.
I came up and I framed, or I posed a question to you, and you didn't answer that. You answered a separate thing. We can talk about that after, if you'd like.
He answered the question. You asked him what he thought about the Trump administration's job in handling immigration.
Mm-hmm.
So your opinion is to steel man you, so I don't get you wrong, Jack. What you're saying is that regardless of what the citizenry votes, if you come here illegally, you ought to be able to stay. That's your position because it's kind of good feels, good vibes.
I didn't read that anywhere in his answer.
Well, I'm trying to get it correctly here. So if you could summarize it concisely.
Joseph,
yep.
Please cooperate with me here.
I am. I'm just asking for clarification.
Your interruptions are uncooperative. Please allow me to get through my point. I realize I pause when I speak. Part of that is intentional with the hopes that the words are getting through your fucking ego mind. Okay? Now, I'm sorry for swearing, but I answered the question, Joseph. So if you can just admit that when you were in the back, you weren't listening to me. You weren't here. You were probably stewing and thinking how unfair I was, and this is just not right, and how you are right. But let me stop complaining now. The answer to your question, how do I feel Donald Trump is doing with the ICE and the immigration? I think he's doing a piss poor job because the people have been conditioned to believe that we need these borders in order to survive. But that's not true. What we need is peace on earth. See, let's also consider, why are other nations against America? Could it be that we've allowed our corporations to exploit and overthrow governments? Yes. Could it be that we've spread war and military bases all around the world? Yes. Could it be that other people are seeing what America is doing, and so they're a bit pissed off that we, as people, we're not fixing it? We're going around fucking arguing with each other, stealing from each other, going through the drive-through and to the fucking movie theater. Got to go pay the sports millionaires, right? What is going on here in the world? How about we care about these men and women who they find no other option than to leave their homes. There are men and women and children, innocent children, who are being stolen from their mothers and fathers because their mothers and fathers were desperate, looking for a better life than where they were living. How about we help our neighbors? You want to consider America your home? How about you look out for your fucking neighbors, dude?
Can I pose you a hypothetical?
Is it related to anything I said, or just a thought you thought of while I was talking?
Yes, it's related. It's absolutely related, yes.
Please.
Okay, so basically, at a point you said that borders we're conditioned to believe in borders, and that's not in the interest or well-being of humanity, right? You agree?
I don't believe they are anymore.
Okay, so I'm going to pose you a hypothetical. Let's go back in time a little bit and pretend like we're living in the times of Mussolini or anything akin to that. Would you say that it is okay, under your ideology, that people who hold that political view and the same ilk of those leaders, they ought to be able to come and move as they go within our nation, and then join in our politics and dictate how we live our lives?
Are you involved in politics by chance?
I'm just a spectator.
Right.
Only
So you're
involved
one
as much as I vote, basically.
So Joseph, yes.
Stay on
So
task,
here,
Jack. Answer the hypothetical.
tell you what, Joseph, why don't you kiss my ass? Okay. I don't need this nor want this. You showed up with an argument, and now I forgot what he just said, but
Should Mussolini be allowed to immigrate into the United States and then engage in American politics?
thank you very much, Denizen. See, this is what I admire about you. You've got a good attention. What I heard him, why I asked him, his big fear is, some foreigner's going to come in his hypothetical. Some foreigner is going to come in and get involved in our politics, and they're going to take over what we're doing. Yeah. When actual citizens sit on their fucking asses as spectators doing nothing, yep, evil takes over. I suggest evil has already taken over America. It's in the form of selfishness and greed. Selfish people don't want to look out for their neighbors. And people become selfish when they're afraid. And people who have been hurt, they carry fears. This is why I want Dr. Gabor Mate, an expert in trauma. He is one of the names I would love to have with me as we, as people, communicate with the American government and with the UN, all the world leaders, because that's all of us. We are all here to lead ourselves and each other into the futures that we want. I really don't want to sit around arguing about opinions of what someone else is doing. No offense, Joseph. No offense, but Joseph, tell you what. This is
That's
you,
him
dude.
trying extra hard to get along.
He's projecting his behaviors onto me, calling me defensive because, yeah, I don't want to waste my time with irrelevant hypotheticals imagined by a stranger who has no relevance to me or my success. Joseph,
the beautiful thing is, though, he made your point.
Yes.
You should have left him on because he made the exact point that you said out loud. He was about to confirm himself. It's like he doesn't participate. He's not an activist, and he's worried about an activist from another culture coming in and overthrowing his own. It's like, well, it sounds like you need to get your gloves taped up and get out there, buddy. If that's what you're worried about. What are you doing sitting here? Is Jack Talcott fucking up your culture?
Here, there's something appropriate here if I can pull it up quickly. See if I can bring this up. What happened? Oh, that's right. I'm gonna share this. It seems appropriate. Hopefully this is big enough. The man in the arena. Let me see if I can make this bigger. The man in the arena. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who strives, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Freaking love that quote. I had that on my union cubicle in the on the wall of my union cubicle for years. And that conversation about being a spectator who's afraid of what others are doing, wanting approval for those who you approve of. I saw someone wanting of his bias. That's not me. What are your thoughts, man? You don't confirm many biases either. That's a thing I respect and see about you, my brother.
I'm an actual skeptic, old school, 80s style, you know? Not this modern skepticism shit.
No.
I have a very, very narrow area of expertise. And these are, you know, subjects and skill sets in which I have education, I have experience, and I have profession. And outside of that very small box, I try to remain humble. And there's always, that's not the real snow fire, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Here, let's do
I
this.
forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I appreciate the looking out. Finding the being a skeptic, and then God, see, my job listening can improve as well. It's actually why I shut my eyes a lot, so I don't get distracted.
I feel like if I'm in a hard time listening to somebody, then I'll close my eyes to try to intensify the focus, right?
It's a way of escape. But we've got the thing I've been learning. All of us are different, but the goals are all the same. We all want to feel at peace. We all want to feel recognized. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel like we matter. We all want to please others, whether we realize it or not. And some people do it in very twisted ways. They please themselves and others in very twisted, sick ways.
And broadcast it on YouTube. Holy
Touché,
shit.
brother. Hey, I was noticing the time. Should I have ended before the 2-hour mark? StreamYard would help me with some clips, but we've missed that already. I do feel like it is time to start wrapping up. What are you thinking?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I might check out that Netanyahu speech.
Oh, that's right. News. I offered that, and then I changed it.
Joseph came up.
I got distracted. Here, since we're already running long and I don't have stuff going on, I plan on watching this anyway. Let's see what we've got. This is where I go pretty regularly for news myself. Let's see, where is that?
To Democracy Now! Democracy and jury has indicted former FBI Director James Comey on 2 criminal charges, which include making a false statement to Congress and the obstruction of a congressional proceeding during his testimony back in 2020 about Russian interference in the 2016 election. Thursday's indictment of Comey comes just days before a statute of limitations on the charges was due to expire, and less than a week after President Trump installed Lindsay Halligan, his personal lawyer, as the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia to replace her predecessor, Eric Siebert, who resigned under pressure from Trump because he refused to bring charges against Comey. Here's Comey responding to his indictment.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump. But we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either. Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid.
James Comey's son-in-law, Troy Edwards Jr., resigned from his position as a national security prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia immediately after the indictment was announced. Earlier this year, the Justice Department fired Comey's daughter, who Comey was just referring to in his video, Maureen Comey, for her position as a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York. She is sued, claiming she was fired for political reasons. Maureen Comey successfully prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein co-conspirator, convicted sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell, and Comey was involved in the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein. Meanwhile, the New York Times is reporting the Justice.
Whoops. The Comey thing and the attorney appointments, there are too many names for me. I don't know the details of the Comey thing.
It's obviously political, but that doesn't change the fact that Comey is a liar.
Okay.
He's just as corrupt as the rest of them. He's a politician, not a lawman. He always has been, embarrassingly so. And the Southern District of New York is probably the most corrupt court district in the United States. So the fact that it's run by another Comey is just poetic.
Hey,
and Trump may be firing all the Comeys and pushing all these people out of office because he goes directly after his political enemies. But I remember these people from before Trump was around and what corrupt liars they are, so I don't feel the least bit bad for them, if that makes sense, right?
I think it does. And yes, see, you're more aware of different parts than I am. I know
I used to get into the weeds.
I used to a lot more. Now I do a little bit. I do a lot less, but I still try to pay attention. And here, let's see what else they got.
Department is calling on federal. Meanwhile, the New York Times is reporting the Justice Department is calling on federal prosecutors to investigate the billionaire George Soros's philanthropic group, the Open Society Foundations. The DOJ's directive lists possible charges ranging from arson to material support for terrorism. In response, Soros called out the Trump administration for, quote, politically motivated attacks on civil society, unquote.
Well, that's what you're doing, though, Georgie.
Right. This is the thing, dude. This is what the ego does. It projects its behavior. And, this is another area. I hear a lot of things about that name Soros and Trump. And I don't know either of them very well, but I've heard them both say things about the past. And I've seen things about them from the past. They had some good ideas. But along the way, I think they got corrupted by profits, by money, and they lost sight. They got involved in the politics, thinking that fighting over this other side is going to be the way to win. These people are nuts, dude. You have thoughts on Soros in this?
Yeah. Soros, maybe I haven't disagreed with everything he's ever said. And if I recall, again, maybe 30 years ago, listening to him criticize the monetary policy of our country, I was like right on with a right-handed fist. But
Right.
the open, what is it, society that he funds?
Yeah.
This I don't understand. I mean, there's weird happenings out there, like random piles of bricks being left, for protesters. You know what I mean when I say that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
And that's odd to me. I'm almost 50, and I don't recall that being a thing in protests. Just like random piles of bricks being available.
Right.
Yeah, and people getting like the vice president organizing the release of rioters. Like say for example during BLM. That seems new to me, and maybe that's just because now I'm finally paying attention. Maybe when I was a kid, I was too naive to understand that Reagan was paying for all of the, protests against him, or maybe George Bush Sr. had something to do with the 1992 riots. I don't know, but this seems strange to me. And George Soros seems to be deliberately trying to destroy the rule of law in America. With his organization seems to be. So my reaction to that is why? What's the gain there?
Wanting to hope for the best, I would trust it to be ignorance, short-sightedness. And that's a result of the life experiences.
From one of the richest, most powerful people in the world, which is,
Yep.
Hard to believe or extremely depressing to recognize.
It can be, but it's a fact. These wealthy, successful people, they're people. They got good days, bad days. They do stupid stuff just like everybody else. But we've learned how to trust people who are successful, that they know what they're doing. And Donald Trump is an example of that. He's surrounds himself with yes men. And I'd assume that, Soros has maybe good intentioned people as well with him, but they take something he says and then they run with the idea, and then it's this chain of obedience where nobody's responsible for anything. Here, let's continue.
Politically motivated attacks on civil society, unquote. Israel's military has issued new evacuation orders for neighborhoods of Gaza City as Israeli ground forces push deeper into the Gaza Strip's largest urban area. Israeli attacks have killed at
Real
least
quick.
29 Palestinians.
I just want to double down on what I said before and quote her. Politically motivated attacks against civil society. This is exactly what I think George Soros is funding. Trump may be guilty of it, but so are you.
Right. He is. And to some degree, all of us are involved in this atrocity. I mean, to me, what do those people do? Right? Look at that image. What are these people supposed to do with where they are and what's going on?
Leave. It's really the only thing you can do.
They're not allowed out.
Yeah, I know. You'd have to risk your life and your family's life to get out. Which I think I would do if I were in that situation. It's hard to know what you would do, right? Because I live a privileged, easy life over here. but I have, experimented with putting myself in deliberate hardship over the past 5 years. And I think I would. I think I would try to escape even at the threat of death from that place. That's how extreme it is there. Most places I would adapt and go along to get along and wait for the temperature to change, for the water to change direction, so to speak. But in that extreme, I think I would try to sneak out.
I probably would too. I don't know. Would I join and fight? What would I do? I don't know. And then the other side of that, I mean, not everyone is escaping situations like this, but people are escaping the lands of their family, their ancestry. People are leaving their homes. And then we've got America complaining that we're not arresting enough of them. It's like, what the fuck? We've lost sight of humanity. Here.
Evacuation orders for neighborhoods of Gaza City as Israeli ground forces push deeper into the Gaza Strip's largest urban area. Israeli attacks have killed at least 29 Palestinians since dawn, 11 of them civilians seeking food, including 2 children.
29 since dawn, 11 children. Many seeking food, if I heard that right.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Many Palestinians
Many
continue
of them
to
children.
resist.
Yeah.
Which, if you know about the Palestinian demographic, only makes sense. It's like, I don't know. Definitely fact check what I'm saying. Around 3 or 4 times, children versus adults.
Mm-hmm. It's saddening though. There's so many children. Something I've never understood most of my life. I've been blessed, so I haven't been there, but it seems there's a lot of children being born in areas of total unrest. Sudan, and then I remember in the 80s, the Ethiopian starvation going on, and there's all these children, and even Palestine. I mean, there's newborns. And so life is happening. But I was afraid of having a child when my son was born, right? Right after 9/11 here in the US. Me and his mother, we wanted a child, but we were really wondering, is this the right thing to do? It saddens my heart because all of these children missing out on education, missing out on a childhood, they're going to grow up to be adults. And where do you think they're going to be looking? They're going to be looking at fucking America.
Israel's forced displacement, moving from one place to another within Gaza City rather than leaving entirely. This is Samia Al-Samri, a Palestinian mother whose family's sheltering at a tent after an Israeli bomb flattened her home, killing her 9-year-old son.
My son was martyred in front of my eyes, and I could not carry him. I was worried that my children would be martyred as well, and I was injured. My son over here was also injured. I suffered. That's why I became worried about my children. Whenever there is a threat, I run away. I get scared, carry my children, and run.
After headlines, we'll speak with Al Jazeera reporter Hani Mahmoud, who has just left Gaza City.
This stuff in Gaza, man, it truly, truly breaks my heart. But
why do you think it's happening? Are you do you believe in any kind of conspiracy involved, or?
The biggest picture, I have faith it's God. This is God's plans for us. We're being shown what the world has become, and we get to choose. What are we going to do? I believe that this is happening because good men and women have stayed silent for too long. I grew up with these fears being punished, fears of being ridiculed. I was afraid to speak out. I was afraid to be different. There's a lot of people who are still dealing with those things, right? But I said it and I mean it. I follow the way of Jesus, and he's the leader for me. As far as I'm concerned, he's already king here on earth. I don't need to obey a cop or a boss or a politician or anything else till God makes me, right? But hey, I think I'm pretty sure I follow Chris Hedges already. Amazing political correspondent. He was a news correspondent for over 20 years and does some amazing political commentary, if I remember right.
Yeah, and he lived in the Middle East after becoming famous as a journalist, and came back and tried to make the case for Middle Eastern people being just like the rest of us, not being inherently terrorists.
Good. See, this is the thing, is that we have the communication and technology available today that wasn't available in the past. We've got firsthand witness, firsthand testimonies of what's going on. I believe it's time for us to believe in solutions more than problems. And as soon as we do, it's going to happen. Here, let's see. There's a few more minutes of this.
Israeli strikes bombarded Yemen's capital, Sana'a, on Thursday, killing at least 8 people and wounding 142. Israel's repeatedly targeted residential areas.
They have targeted residential neighborhoods that is known to all people. Al-Raqqa neighborhood. They only frighten women and children. They only make us stronger and more steadfast. And we say to Netanyahu, we swear to tear out his eye.
The attack comes a day after the Houthis claimed responsibility for a drone attack on Eilat in southern Israel, injuring 22 people. Earlier this month, Israeli strikes on Sana'a and the province of Al-Jaf killed more than 40 people and was the largest single attack on journalists the world has seen in 16 years.
This is another concerning issue. The number of journalists. I mean, besides the direct report on the bombing there with Yemen, Israel striking out at all these nations, getting attacked, right? But there's reasons behind all of this. However, it's not just what they reported there in Yemen, the targeting of journalists. Palestine, Mexico, all sorts of places. We've got people trying to report on the news, risking their lives so that people outside of the conflict can hear what's going on, and people are just paying attention to the nonsense and the novelty. But I believe these things are happening for us for a good reason. And there's a good reason who just showed up in the back, Denizen. I'm going to pause the news for a few minutes. You got anything before I do?
No.
Welcome, Illumitami.
Tom.
What are you putting everything on hold for me showing up for, and what's the good reason I showed up?
Those are great questions.
Right. I think this is a good channel if it would be described as takes from a delusional boomer. Because you got a lot of good points to make for somebody that doesn't seem to understand how anything works.
Is he talking about me or you?
Oh, come on, Denizen, don't be a narc. I'm talking about Jack.
Yeah, I assume he's referring to me. I'm turning your volume up just a little bit, Tommy.
Yeah, you're probably the one that turned it
down. Tommy, I'm a square, so forgive me, please. This is not sarcasm, but am I supposed to just let you do your bit? Because you are funny and entertaining. I never know when to take it seriously and when not to, and I don't want to stand in your way. You are a true artist. I mean that sincerely.
Well, maybe that's the problem, because I'm never quite doing a bit, and I'm always taking what's real and adding enough entertainment so that these TikTok-minded plebs can sit in for it.
So, would you really think Jack's takes were delusional?
Does he think that warfare that he himself admits journalists risk their asses to report on, that it's like, let's specifically target people that are reporting on the war. Let's specifically target children. Or are things blowing up near
Sometimes.
these people that are also around?
It's both. There is targeting.
Oh,
of
that's a good way to say it right without being right. It's just both.
Well, Tommy, that's the way the world works. It's usually yes
You
and.
don't know how the world works, and you're better off kicking me than pretentiously old boying me, because people have always enjoyed watching me come up and adult you, and now you just caught on enough that you're mad about it.
I'm not mad. I'm just.
Well, you should be. You're a grown-ass man, and I don't know what kind of life you've lived to leave you like this.
I know.
Do you think he is that delusional about how the world works?
That was what I thank you.
Well,
like comparatively speaking, too, Tommy, right? Like especially. Let's not compare him to yourself or someone you look up to for insight. Let's compare him to the average American.
Thank you.
That's what I'm doing. And this entire community has to be on average below average.
So you think I'm the lowest of the below average here in the panel, and that compared to the average person,
I think
beliefs are delusional.
No, and once again, you show that you don't listen or understand. I think at some point in your life, you fucking snapped.
You what?
Did you interrupt me?
Oh, he snapped.
Jack, if you that channel you take joy in being disappeared shows that for 3 years all I've done is listen and pay attention. And the nerve that you would sit here and just play these deflectionary games when I bothered to share your time on your stupid show.
Holy cows, dude! I gotta get quicker.
Ain't
on
nothing
this,
holy
man.
about them. We eat them and. Would you like to elaborate on that? Would you like to expand and demand? Would you like to produce what you demand of other accusations on you? Would you like to get specific and unpack that? Because see, Jack, that was one of my final bills as Panelberg's president. One of my final bills I signed in as Panelberg's president is nobody standing for this "that's you" reply shit. And you say respect your channel by not saying certain words. Well, when you come to my channel, I say don't say that's you. You have to explain why that's you, and you don't respect that either.
I do respect it. You're telling yourself false stories, my friend.
Fuck you, faggot. That's a deflection, nigger. See, now we're disrespecting each other's rules.
That's what you're doing.
Whenever I accuse you of what we've watched you do for 3 years, it doesn't mean that's me. And it's you and Paul's fault. We've got to break the entire community of this.
How about we come back to the news? Let's divert from this just for a few minutes.
Well,
please.
we were trying to talk about the news and you made it about me.
You're right.
Of the Palestinian Authority has condemned Israel's assault on the Gaza Strip as a war of genocide, destruction, starvation, and displacement, unquote. Mahmoud Abbas made the remark.
Jack, if you've agreed with this community that all these news outlets are taking their script and saying it, and this is all a Operation Paperclip propaganda thing, why do you let yourself be fed and manipulated by it?
I'm not fed and manipulated by the.
You're sitting here watching and commentating on it and eating it up.
I was until you showed up.
Yes, that you were doing that. That's what I'm saying.
Starvation and
all right, let's continue.
Displacement, unquote.
Well, you haven't answered my question.
Now I have.
Remarks in a video address Thursday to the unquote. Mahmoud Abbas made the remarks in a video address Thursday to the United Nations General Assembly.
Today we say clearly, peace cannot be achieved if justice is not achieved, and there can be no justice if Palestine is not freed.
Abbas said he was ready to work with world leaders to implement a peace plan announced by France on Monday. He condemned Hamas's actions October 7, 2023, and said the group would not have a role to play in any future governments of an independent state of Palestine. Abbas's UN speech came as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu flew to New York, where he's set to address the General Assembly today. For the first time, Netanyahu's flight route was diverted over the Mediterranean Sea to avoid overflying a country that would be obliged to arrest him. An international criminal court warrant seeks Netanyahu.
You what?
I wonder if that's true, because it's significant if it is.
It's possible.
It's definitely possible.
And I've heard similar reports. He's canceled plans and changed plans of appearing in different nations to meet with the state leaders because the people want to prosecute him. I think it's beautiful.
I think he's been chosen for this, and then so I wonder what it's like to be him.
That's an interesting question.
If it's the case and he has any kind of awareness of it, then I imagine there's some kind of like he must have a way to either feed off of or transmutate all the negative energy he gets. Because think about it, like I barely get any negative energy in my life. You maybe get a little bit more than me from these YouTube people, right? Which is still nothing, right?
Yeah.
This dude gets global hate, like big globs of humanity. Just think about him and wish the worst on him. That's cosmically remarkable, you know.
But this is what I believe. There's a spiritual battle happening. There are entities and energies that will take over a being. Maybe it's an idea they get. And then they get consumed with this and they feed off the hate. They do this. I've seen it. I've seen the eyes change and the smile, and you can see this evil. The people get joy.
Seems to change the way their face grows too, right? So that they look evil, like comically evil.
It's crazy, man. The way that this world is created, there's a perfect order in it. And these guys are a part of the story, just like we're a part of the story. We're just playing different parts in time. It's crazy.
Be obliged to arrest him. An international criminal court warrant seeks Netanyahu's arrest for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in Gaza, including using starvation as a weapon of war. This morning, protesters are gathering at Times Square for a march to the UN demanding the arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu.
Beautiful.
Microsoft says it's barred the Israeli military from using technology it's used to spy on millions of Palestinian civilian phone calls made each day in Gaza and the occupied West Bank and stored in Microsoft's vast Azure cloud computing platform. It's an unprecedented victory for No Azure for Apartheid, a group of current and former Microsoft workers demanding an end to Microsoft's work with the Israeli military. But in a statement, the group called Microsoft's actions insufficient, noting the vast majority of Microsoft's tech sales to the Israeli military continue to be untouched. Later in the broadcast, we'll speak with Hassam Nasser. He is a fired Microsoft worker who is an organizer with No Azure for Apartheid. Russia.
This is what I think it's going to take. If I heard the story right, employees involved are standing up with the organizations. And when we have the right people, we can make a difference. Hey, welcome back, Landry.
It's
And
good to be here. How are you doing?
Feeling blessed, man.
Good. It's good to hear. I just caught this last 2 minutes. So I'm trying to catch up on what the topic is.
I was just kind of going through the news a little bit because I plan on listening to the news anyway. And I thought, why not? Why not just keep it going and we'll see what happens. And Golden Renaissance Productions, how much is Democracy Now! Paying you to play this, Jack? Nothing.
Less than I paid you, Truth or Cup.
Holy cows.
Who said that? Golden Renaissance Productions.
Yeah.
Is that a joke?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's AKA Truth or Cop. He's about
okay. Yeah, he's just joking around.
He's just a little better at investigating than Snafu Snaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Browns boy.
Well, I bring up the
yes.
I bring up the name Snafu Snaps because he's in the back with Illumitami. They showed up right after you, Landry.
Do you think it's something I said?
You might have attracted them back. So,
is there something on your teeth?
My teeth?
There is.
It's just a weird. It's a weird blur between the green screen and the back screen. It's getting confused. Hold on, watch this.
It looks like there's something on your face, but that's all right.
No, me, no. You should let Snafu up here, but I want to take the condition here.
Oh God.
As to can he treat this conversation like a conversation? I've still never seen him do it.
But he can't. I don't know why we ask these questions.
I agree with you, but
he can. I know he can, but will he? That is a good way of posing it. So let's see. Will our Warthog Defense 101, will he allow a conversation? Welcome, Snafu.
Sure, Jack, I'll allow a conversation. I was actually more interested in the videos you were playing because I pay attention, and so I actually was kind of like gonna question you on some stuff. But it's funny because I saw you and I was like, Jack, even though you're a Nazi piece of shit, and you really don't know what you're talking about, Jack. Let's just be real. That's what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna say
National Socialist.
What do you take from the videos you've shown? Because I really don't think you understand what you're even like looking at and processing.
What is it with these people?
But Landry, yes, I could have a conversation with him. What does Landry want to talk about?
Well, at this point, this is Jack's space, so I want to.
No,
give him
you wanted. Okay, well, I know what I would talk about with Landry.
Talking about
we could
the
have
news.
a conversation about it.
We can talk about the topic.
We're talking about.
I was wondering if you would be able to not interrupt people the way you do.
I was wondering if you fucking covered up for your daddy 2 days after he murdered or ran.
Oh my God, Snafu. No, he can't. But let's see if Illumitami can do better. I got faith in him. Welcome.
I know
you.
Tommy can do whatever
better.
he wants.
The me doing better is you backstaging me and saying I'm Snafu. And that's your brother. Paul's both your daddies. I only came back up because Landry's here.
Oh.
You're garbage, Jack. You're garbage. You're a liar. You're an enabler of liars. And I don't like you.
Dude.
And whenever Rose sends me,
You're a liar.
Are you calling me a liar?
You are a liar and an enabler of liars, Tommy. You've been enabling your own confusion. You've been encouraging people like Margot and Andy and all these other characters, just like Polyboy has been doing. Tommy, you are the same as Snafu. And Snafu and Tommy, they are the same as me. Okay, we're all the same.
It's not true, Jack. I'm actually outdoing the thing you wish you and your daddy could say you're outdoing, and you're interrupting that by not allowing this conversation to come full fruition, just like every half-assed thing in your life, you fucking loser.
How about I do?
Oh, he's avoiding because we're all obviously talking to him. This was his daddy's season 1 thing. Whenever somebody showed up on his daddy's show that overpowered his
fire, dude.
personality,
Landry,
run.
let's talk about your dad.
Hey, backstage me.
No,
Okay,
no, because that's not Landry, you fucking moron. This is why Jack's stupid for comparing us. I'm always telling the truth. Snafu and his daddy and Jack
I
are
want to give him
always
credit
lying.
there, Jack. I want to give him credit as far as he is not as bad as Snafu. Quite frankly, he's rough with you.
You, Landry? I came up here to talk to you, and because we could facilitate both of us having a conversation with Jack, and you're still affected by this panel verse.
Wait, okay, I'll allow it. All right, so.
Oh, you allow it?
No. I'm
Will
saying
you allow your wife to
I'll
fuck
allow
black
it within
dudes?
myself.
Will you allow your wife to fuck more black dudes than she already does? Will you allow the cool cigarette butts to be flicked around your driveway?
What?
You see what you're doing? Let me teach you a little more Panelverse 101. Because you've got the goal to try and step to me, this entity that dwarfs Paul enslaved in the Panelverse, Jack is evading by pitting us one-on-one as if I'm going to go in on you. And I'm not going to go in on you, Landry. You have some mod tendencies of Jack, but you're not a bad guy.
Okay, fair enough. You're right. I should be more conscious of that. I agree, because you know what? Yesterday the show died when we got rid of you, so it was a bad move.
But the show doesn't matter as much as making progress, and with Jack, neither really go well. Neither show nor progress. And he's still this far into it using that's you shit as a crutch when everyone in this Panelverse is laughing at him.
I'm laughing because he's doing the thing I did yesterday. Remember, that was so funny. I love that you're doing it, Jack. The removing and re-adding and removing. I was having fun with that yesterday.
I saw that. Hey, I actually think we should. Let's get through the news, and then that part.
Tommy, we can talk later if you want.
Yes, please. Tommy and Snafu. They're great fun, but holy cows, they are challenging characters.
I've never had fun with Snafu.
I have. Admittedly, I have.
I've seen it. I wish I could see it in my own life, but he doesn't. He's got to guard up, which I get it.
He's distrusting. That's for sure. Here, let's see what we've got here.
Who is an organizer with No Azure for Apartheid. Russia's foreign ministry has ratcheted up tensions with NATO, accusing the Western military alliance of waging war on Russia. Speaking at a G20 conference on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly here in New York Thursday, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said, quote, NATO and the European Union want to declare, in fact, have already declared a real war on my country and are directly participating in it, unquote. His comments come days after President Trump suggested Ukraine could claw back its territory taken by Russia.
Did you see that?
Denmark
He did a complete 180 on the war in Ukraine and posted to Truth Social that he thinks Russia looks like a paper tiger because they should have been able to take over the entire country by now. And since they haven't done that, it's if Europe and NATO get behind Ukraine, they could probably take all of Ukraine back from Russia. And he's gone full, fight the war.
Thank you. That makes more sense to what I just saw. Holy cows, dude. See, this... antagonistic, and it's just, the world is watching, and this is our representation.
Claw back its territory taken by Russia. And meanwhile, Denmark reported to NATO that state actors are responsible for drone incursions that shut down 2 airports. That's according to Latvia's foreign minister speaking to Reuters. Germany's defense minister, Boris Pistorius, went further and blamed Russia for the drone incursions.
The suspicion is obvious. This is part of Vladimir Putin's strategy, without us being able to say anything concrete in this case. But it is part of what we experience every day. We are not at war, but we are also no longer at complete peace. We are being attacked, both in disinformation campaigns and now also by drones.
The Trump administration's negotiating a $20 billion financial bailout for Argentina. Amidst a worsening economic crisis, largely due to austerity measures enacted by embattled far-right Argentine president and Trump ally Javier Milei, critics say the move contradicts Trump's so-called America First policies by offering a lifeline to Milei ahead of Argentina's midterm elections in October, which are critical to Milei retaining power.
That sounds to me like criminals enabling criminals. Once again, Trump and his cronies working deals, and it's the same thing the Rothschilds have been doing, and all of these wealthy families of power and elite. They buy governments and they exploit the people, and the people are being sold out for these fucking bailouts. So great, Donald Trump is going to claim to be a hero. Maybe I'm misunderstanding and maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but this is the way I see it all. Yeah, this is probably it. Argentina's probably got resources, and the banks see a way to exploit the people. They take over the infrastructure and privatize everything, start reducing the money spent on education, and they start increasing the amount spent on militarization. You know,
Well,
got to
when
make
this guy, go
go
ahead,
ahead,
sir.
please.
This guy on the left here, when he was just running, I used to every time I heard him mentioned, which was often because he's some kind of libertarian savior, I would always say, I spell Millier, which is his name. I spell Millier, CIA, because I think the whole thing is an American, takeover of the Argentinian government and to go back to exploiting their natural resources.
Dude,
The
that
term
makes
banana
sense.
republic comes to mind.
Yes, the tactics they have proven to work, so they continue until we unite and stop this nonsense. But I believe it's happening. This is evidence. This is evidence that, well,
Here in New York, outrage is mounting after a federal agent in plain clothes was caught on video shoving and pushing an Ecuadorian mother to the ground as her two young children watched and screamed in panic inside 26 Federal Plaza in Manhattan. Video shows the woman crying as she begs authorities not to take her husband, who is detained during the family's asylum hearing at the federal building. The woman is heard telling agents in Spanish they're going to kill him if her husband is deported to Ecuador.
What the
The agent is also heard mocking the woman, telling her adios repeatedly, the Spanish word for goodbye, before ramming her against the wall and shoving her to the floor.
He even went in for more. Like, she was already on the ground, and at least he responded to her defensiveness of putting her hands up, and by stopping himself. But there was a moment when he was about to go in again at her.
yeah, you can assume and kind of see the signs of cognition he started. But the thought that came to mind of this, it was a thought I had earlier regarding our friend Paul Enslaved. You know, what would I do now that I know what I know? How would I interact should a cop choose to pull me over? Well, they're working for a paycheck. That guy, that man, for his fucking paycheck, chose to do what he chose to do. That saddens me. Hey, Machine Lies, good to see you, my friend. We're going dark and looking at the news with Jack. So how you doing, brother? Perfect timing.
Yeah, blessings. Yeah, I guess I was behind in the episode, but there was like Snafu, Illuma, Tommy, and I'm in Landry, and then I was I'm entering right on that, so I thought I was gonna enter on like some crazy stuff, but then you guys were just watching the news, so very calm there.
We've had a little bit of it all. We've got Snafu is still in the back. Tommy looks like he moved on to other things. Let's see, in the back, I'm being warned. You fucked Paul over. You shit on Paul, Jack, just yesterday. And in the back from Tommy, I got fuck you, Jack. Bring me the fuck up. These people are nuts, man. So nuts. Here, let's see what other insanity there might be.
Reportedly arrived from Ecuador last year. This came as protesters got.
Hey, sorry, but this again, it's another example of someone trying to go through the process, showing up at the asylum hearing, and then family being treated like that.
That outside 26 Federal Plaza Thursday, where immigrants have described being imprisoned for days or weeks without due process in overcrowded cells, without access to medication and proper sanitation, being forced to sleep on the concrete floor and left hungry without outside contact. This is New York Assembly member Jessica Gonzalez Rojas.
We are done with this administration and their cruelty. We will demand that ICE is out of New York, and we need to fight to make sure that we are passing laws here in New York that will protect our immigrant neighbors. Because we are all the child of immigrants.
Amazon has reached a $2.5 billion settlement with the Federal Trade Commission over allegations the company tricked users into
Not
paying
enough
for Prime
money.
membership. Amazon's set to give $1 billion to the FTC and another $1.5 billion back to customers impacted by the company's practices. Amazon still faces a legal case with the FTC over allegations the company is illegally stifling competition in the e-commerce market. And
These billion-dollar fines, it's truly just become a cost of doing business for these corporations. $1 billion bucks.
Right, it's legal for a fee.
Yeah, thank you. It is.
And that's not even the worst of Amazon's practices.
No.
Their labor practices are truly the worst, but their violations of antitrust law, that's where, I mean, that's the whole Amazon story as far as I'm concerned, is one big skate around antitrust.
Yes, it is. It's an example of good and bad, because the good from Amazon, dude, there's no denying they got good service. You know, they got lots of options. The prices aren't bad. This fucking membership. Yeah, they've been exploiting the customers and the producers and the workers, and Jeff Bezos gets to take fucking joyrides to the stratosphere playing like he's God.
Can I
Talcott?
What's that?
Can I get the
Oh, sorry, Talcott. So Landry sent me the wrong link. So he sent me to your channel.
Possibly. You're welcome to stay. He was here, so that's a reasonable
all right, I'll hang out
reasonable
with you guys.
mistake. Yeah, we were just going through the news. Any other feedback? Machine Lies, Denizen?
I was gonna say, let me piss off the Merkins by saying, I think that we should seize Jeff Bezos's assets and redistribute his wealth among all the citizens of America, including under 18. Every individual should get the money, and so children should have like a federal savings account opened up in their name that we put Jeff's money in.
Dude, that's a ballsy claim. You're talking direct redistribution of wealth, including the Target.
And that's in
That's
lieu
it.
of
Holy
prison
cows.
time.
I haven't gone
That'll
that
be
far.
part of his rehabilitation. Rather than putting him in jail, we're going to teach him how to be a human being again.
Dude, that's in line with one of my ideas for reform. We take these brilliant mathematicians, statisticians, you take those brilliant minds, the people who imagined and created the mortgage derivatives and all these ways of gambling with everyone's debts, take them and bring them into solving the problems. And I mean, these hedge fund managers, these stock, if what I've seen, the propaganda from the 80s and all of this, these hedge fund managers making extreme wealth just by directing other people to share their wealth, they've been overpaid. Let me get to the point. The great way of the great way of bringing justice towards all these banking managers responsible for the stock market crashes and these bailouts. Let's get them on the streets. Let them work with the nonprofit leaders, out there on the streets. Get the Sackler family out there in the street, face to face with some of the addicts, some of the families that have been destroyed by their products and their marketing tactics. These fines, they're not fine for me and you anymore, man. Fines for freedom. That's what America's become. You're right.
President Trump signed an executive order Thursday that would allow TikTok to keep operating in the U.S. The order enables a group of investors to buy the American operations of the app from the Chinese company ByteDance. China still has to approve the deal. The company Oracle will reportedly take over security operations and cloud computing for TikTok's U.S. firm. Oracle's co-founder and chair, Larry Ellison, is a decades-long history with the Republican Party and has frequented Trump's Mar-a-Lago for dinners and has met Trump in the Oval Office. He's also an ally of
So
Israeli
that's why
Prime
he
Minister
got that
Benjamin
government
Netanyahu.
contract. That's why he's the richest man in the world, especially after he had his little fallout with his buddy Elon.
That's exactly what it is. It's truly nuts. Here, I think Moose is here, but not here. I'm going to just add to it. These names, and I was kind of hoping Snafu might actually still be in the back when I heard the name Oracle, because he pays attention to these things. And this is state sponsored, right? Donald Trump and the administration, they're brokering the deal so corporate billionaires can take over another tech platform. Why? It benefits the U.S. It benefits the CIA. That's for sure. That's what these people are all about, is control and ownership. It's sickening to me. And it's not everyone, I realize it, but people are how they are.
Trump in the Oval Office. He's also an ally of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, donating money to Israel's military through the nonprofit Friends of the Israel Defense Forces. Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates-backed investment firm MGX is also reportedly set to win a major stake in TikTok's U.S. business. Back in May, MGX made a $2 billion investment in the Trump family's cryptocurrency business, World Liberty Financial. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
Yeah. I look at the news different than I used to. I used to get upset by the politicians. I'd even yell at the television screen. I don't do that anymore, but I see the faces of the people. Every time there's a report of natural disasters, I'm thinking about the families affected. When I see these reports of war and the immigration and the men and women who are being dragged out of their jobs, out of their homes, out of their lives, put into cages. Why? Because some politician somewhere said, hey, during your paycheck, you need to obey, and you got to obey what we say. And people believe that shit. We don't have to. We don't have to obey when we choose to lead. And only those who accept responsibility for themselves are fit to lead. I'm going to tie it to the thumbnail. Because the question I asked today, the Tal question, do you trust yourself to be honest, or do you tend to make excuses? Donald Trump is a man of excuses. So is Netanyahu. So are all of the supporters of them. And we don't have to be amongst that. We've got another guest here. Machine Lies, you've been here, Denizen. Thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to give a little rundown of this history of the Middle Eastern conflict, and I could do so in pretty quickly. I mean, right? If you guys will engage me, I mean, in less than 3 minutes, really.
Please.
Yeah. Well, this guy who's the prime minister right now, right? He is. His father was the secretary of Zeb Jabotinsky, right, who was actually elected as the Russian delegate to the 6th Zionist Congress, that was set up by Theodore Herzl, right? He started the World Zionist Congress in 1896, I believe. The year after he wrote the book, The Jewish State. This was the book that started the World Zionist movement. In 1917, they had the Balfour Declaration. Then they had, World War II. Right, in 1947, the UN declared, Israel to be a country, right? And then in 1948, they had the Nakba, which was, when they went into the Palestinian villages and murdered a lot of people, right? And this is talked about by Israeli historians, right? Then in the year 1957, I believe, they had the Suez Crisis, where Egypt and Israel went to war. This was a war that lasted, I believe, until 1970, right? Until Egypt was defeated. In 1979, they had the Camp David Accords, right? Where they had, President Jimmy Carter. They had, Anwar Sadat, right? Who was the successor of Gamal Abdel Nasser, right, who started the movement for Pan-Arabism, right? So, yeah, 1979 they had the Camp David Accords, right? This is when they came together. I believe it was Menachem Begum, Anwar Sadat of Egypt, right? President Jimmy Carter, right? Also Brzezinski was there. Right, Zbigniew Brzezinski, who started the Trilateral Commission. Right, so there's a lot of important dates there. Right, and subsequently, they invaded Lebanon. Right, because I guess Israel was also at war with Syria and Lebanon. Right, so this conflict happened between, I guess mainly between Israel, Egypt, Syria, and Lebanon, right? So Israel subsequently, they went to war with Egypt, then Syria, then Lebanon. So yeah, that's a little bit of the history. Sorry if I took too long.
No, it's beautiful, brother. Thank you. Your grasp on history and philosophy here. For those who haven't come across The Machine Lies yet, please check it out.
What was the name of that book that you mentioned at the beginning of your commentary?
Please.
I don't think it was necessarily a book, but I did mention Zeb Jabotinsky, who was the forerunner of the hard right movement, right? I think it was called Iron Wall, right, or something like that. But Zeb Jabotinsky, he was named the Wolf, right, and he started the far right movement. Actually, Benjamin Netanyahu's dad was a secretary, right? And he was oh yeah, I mentioned The Jewish State by Theodor Herzl. Yeah, sorry, that was the book, 1895. Theodor Herzl, Der Judenstaat, written in Switzerland, right, where he started the World Zionist Congress, right?
That was the book.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
No, beautiful, man. There's been long-range plans made. They've been brilliantly executed. I mean, the truth has been shared with us publicly. These adages from some of the influential people, they explain exactly what's going on, right? Never let a good crisis go to waste. Well, you want to affect some change, you want to create some profits, you got to create some change. Nothing changes things like a good crisis. And here's a good man who knows crisis.
And you know what? How are you ever going to change things, Jack?
Keep
You
watching.
laugh like
Dude.
Toilet Bowl Earth. You laugh like Toilet Bowl Earth when they asked him if he was a nigger lover.
Keep watching.
I have been, Jack. We know you're a joke. I'm just pointing out that you're doing the time-old strategy of I'm going to watch the news so I can say we're supposed to talk about that when things don't go my way. That wasn't any more true for Rachel Wilson than it is for anybody else, and you can't explain yourself. Quit wasting my fucking time.
Holy cow. Says the man who's wasting both of our times with your
I know that's you. Because, see, when I say that to you, I'll explain it. That
I was thinking Rachel Wilson wasted her own time. I was here when that happened.
You were here that day. That was an interesting day, too.
Yeah, definitely an event. I think with the Speakeasy fellow, right? He had come in and then he had brought these people in. So
Right.
It was a conflict from the beginning that they had tried to start.
Yeah. He came in looking to start shit under the pretense of trying to be understanding. It's
Yeah.
the most disingenuous, annoying thing on the internet.
Yeah, and she's trying to interpret a book that literally tells her that she's not allowed to interpret it. In church, the women are supposed to be quiet, right? So authority to speak to an elder man about her interpretation of the book in question.
I'm glad you said it like that, because standing on the words and that position, I'm politely, respectfully, I'd like to speak to that woman's husband, Andrew Wilson.
No, you don't.
I do. I do want to talk to him politely. I don't want to debate or argue the man, but I would like to.
That's all he does. He doesn't do conversations. So
far, he hasn't met a man like me, though. That's what I'm confident of.
Touche.
And Tommy, I freaking love you, my friend, but seriously, you're going to learn the same lessons that I learned. You're going to learn how to love Jack Talcott. Just the way he is. Just the way he is, Tommy. You're gonna.
No, you're gonna learn that I'm just the next person that you try and say you love that's gonna throw your ass to the curb because of your disrespect, your lies, your deflections, and Melanie and Rose owes you and Melanie money.
All right. Well, I've got the tracking number, and I hope you receive your package soon, Tommy, because my visit here, my involvement was a little bit of a part of getting you your stuff back. So hopefully the shipping company does its job properly and everything arrives to you intact and just the way it's supposed to be. Because Tommy, maybe I went a little far. You will learn to love me, Tom. I swear you will, because I love you sincerely. You're just like me. You're bitter and angry. But I faced my bitterness and anger similar to you. I ended up alone. That's why I understand Tommy pretty well, I think. What's that?
Can we find a summary of? I mean, unless you want to listen to the whole thing, of Netanyahu's speech to the UN.
Oh yeah. Let me see what I can pull up.
I'm willing to listen to the whole thing, but I know you've already been on for quite a while, so it's not too late out there.
Oh, 42 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, major part of the history that I didn't include was what happened after 81, after the the Palestinian liberation organization, they were a guerrilla organization. They marched over into Lebanon, right? And then Israel went to war with Lebanon, right? And that's when the Muslim Brotherhood started as well. So the beginning of the Muslim Brotherhood and which started Hamas, right?
Yeah.
Also Iran changing to an Islamic Republic, right?
Yeah.
Those are two big changes that happened in the 70s and 80s, right? That changed the game, right? So Hamas and Hezbollah, respectively.
And it was Roosevelt's nephew who, on behalf of the CIA, led the campaign to exile Mossadegh.
Yeah.
Operation Ajax, where they went and put pamphlets around "Down with Allah" and "Up with Socialism," and admittedly, supposedly, even went as far as to shoot innocent people, machine gun crowds, under the guise of being, revolutionaries.
Yeah, it's great propaganda because Khomeini was a socialist that was educated in France, right? So, right.
Yeah. And all Mossadegh wanted to do was nationalize Iran's oil.
Here, I found a short little breakdown from CNN. And for the feedback on the background, I get it. I'm visiting. I'm a guest. This is the guest room of where I am. So it's all temporary for now. And here, I dropped the link in the chat for this thing. I don't know anything about it. Just looked up. It's a brief clip. CNN breaks down the speech. So let's see what they say.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech at the UN General Assembly wasn't just heard in New York. Along the Gaza border, Netanyahu had the Israeli military set up speakers so that audio of his speech could be broadcast into the territory. He says it was to try to speak to the hostages, and he addressed them in Hebrew and in English during his UN speech, though it's unclear if they even would have heard. Generally, every year at the UN, we see Netanyahu do something performative to try to make a headline or grab the world's attention, and it looks like these speakers were what he did this year. Netanyahu assailed a number of Western countries throughout the course of this week who have recognized a state of Palestine. He said they have caved and buckled under what he said was biased media coverage, radical Islamist minorities, and anti-Semitism.
There's a familiar saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, for many countries here, when the going got tough, you caved.
He accused these countries of outright rewarding Hamas with the recognition, even though many of them have made clear that Hamas must disarm and can have no part in future Palestinian governance. And a final point here. In some of his strongest language that we've seen, specifically at the United Nations, Netanyahu outright rejected the idea of a two-state solution.
This is sheer madness. It's insane, and we won't do it.
With a Palestinian state back on the agenda, this is some of the strongest language we have seen from Netanyahu against a two-state solution. President Donald Trump spoke of the possibility of an imminent end to the war and a ceasefire. And yet, Netanyahu gave no indication throughout his speech that he had any intention to call off Israel's offensive in Gaza.
Your Hamas leaders right here in the
Not all the details, but I can imagine him calling out these other nation states that are. Some of the states are willing to stand up and say, "Hey, this is not right." And I saw some reporting earlier from my I don't know, my friend. Yeah, he doesn't know me yet, but he is my friend. Loki. He did some reporting earlier.
Hey, you said to call the brother up, Jack, so I did.
Yes, Jack, how you doing? Much love and respect to you. You came and took the brother up. I appreciate you spreading the word. Live without fear. Peace and love. Respect, brother.
Thank you, man.
He's also a journalist, and I watched some of his reporting earlier on what's going on. There's all. Please go ahead.
Oh no, I just recommend him exposing Piers Morgan, because everybody's watching Piers Morgan. Now well, low-key went on Piers Morgan and exposed him, right, for being paid by the Zionist Rupert Murdoch, right, who pays for illegal settlements, in the Golan Heights, right, where it's totally illegal to I'm not sure if it's illegal anymore, but it used to be Syrian land, right? But yeah.
Dude, thank you. I hadn't known that. See, brother? Here. Whoops. What did I do?
Yeah, because everybody thinks that guy's such a big shot. Wilson, for going on Piers Morgan. When the guy's a total clown. He left England because he got exposed, for hacking into a 13-year-old dead girl's cell phone. Right.
Oh, Piers Morgan, yeah.
Here, see, I didn't even know. I'm a fan of his, but I don't follow all of his stuff. But here's a little clip. That's Low-Key, the guy who gave a shout out. And Piers Morgan has been a propagandist for the Zionist genocide in Gaza.
He's changed nothing. He's changed nothing. He's trying to save his own reputation historically. And because he understood that it's irrefutable what Israel is doing. But he's been a key weapon of Israel throughout this war. Let's be clear. When he asks you if you condemn Hamas, he's trying to do one of two things. Either criminalize you or enlist you into Israeli military propaganda. Those are his two objectives. And so what he's done throughout this period of time, it can't be separated from Murdoch's history. When Mordecai Vanunu was kidnapped by Mossad, it was while he was under the care of Murdoch's newspaper, The Times. Yeah. Murdoch literally had an Israeli intelligence group in this country in the 90s, which hacked his opponent's stuff. Murdoch is described by Benjamin Netanyahu in his book, Bibi, My Story, as one of his closest friends, as Israel has never had a better friend than Rupert Murdoch. So we're supposed to take this person, who is attempting to either criminalize supporters of Palestine or enlist them into Israeli military propaganda as objective and neutral just because he says he is. He wants some sort of medal or award for recognizing Palestinian humanity at this point. The propagandists who were involved in the Nazi war and propagandized for them were held responsible and hanged at Nuremberg. Yeah? He has been a propagandist for the Zionist genocide in Gaza. I know it because I've lived what he's attempted to do. Both you and me were objects of that attempt. Yeah? And I think, the way that he dealt with you was disgusting, frankly. He's sitting in front of a person that's lost over 20 precious members of his family, and you speak to him in such a ridiculous way and make it all about yourself. It's not him. He tries to make the conversation about him. But I tell you, and something that he hasn't been made aware of yet by me, and should be, though I think he probably is aware, he only split away from Murdoch in 2025, by the way, in January 2025. A key sponsor of his program today is ExpressVPN, and this brings in a whole other topic. But ExpressVPN is owned by Cape Technologies. Cape Technologies is an Israeli company headed by Teddy Sagi. Who's Teddy Sagi? Someone that gave the Israeli military $3 million throughout the war in Gaza, throughout the genocide in Gaza. The same person giving money to Piers Morgan today.
Yeah, you're muted, brother Jack. Yep.
Thank you. Wow. It's the way everything is connected, all of these players, these corporations, these states, it's so intertwined and so complicated, and yet to me the solution is so simple. We are that. And hey, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Loki as an artist. Check out his music. I got a link in the description, and as a journalist, and I'll try to link his other channel in there. Thank you, Machine Lives, for turning me on to that. Pierce Morgan. See, there's connections. I'm connected to all these people in small, different ways. And if I can get these people on my side, well, we're going to get Jack and Donald Trump conversation. And then I'm sure once he hears what I've got to say, he'll want to help me get in front of Congress. That's what I believe, at least. Hey, we've got a great diversion. Let me take a bit. Tommy, welcome back.
You got a charger for it? Just the battery there, you think? It's got the button and the motor and stuff. I don't think the battery will take a charge. And then I've got like 3 Lime scooter packs.
No, I just saw a deal for a minute.
What's that?
Never mind.
Hey, I just saw the link in the back. So here's another recap of the speech.
Oh, is that what I put?
Yeah. This is them
That's
walking
not what
out.
I meant to put. Yeah, we already saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ignore that. I was looking for a more inclusive and comprehensive coverage of what he said.
Yeah. No, that's the delegates walking out is what that is. But here, Tommy, are you there yet?
Oh, I've been here, Jack. Have you disrespected me, brought me on and off a couple times without any addressing, and then like let me sit in the back, choosing whether or not you want to let anybody know I'm there or not? Because when you say I'm gonna love you and come back around, nobody's gonna do that. Like Machine Lies, that dude abandons you and comes back on the drop of a hat because you're all fake.
I've been talking to
now
Jack
once again, Jack. Once again, Jack. Hey, nigger, if you want to talk to me about your issues, you can come on my show, but I'm not here to address you on Jack's stupid show. You Sam fucking nigger.
I don't give a fuck what you think on your show.
Right. So why don't you let me handle Jack and you can suck his dick, baby. You fucking piece of shit, fake ass lie.
Here, please. Now the distraction is gone.
Oh, you put the Arab in the back. Nobody's going to talk to you from Congress. You put the Arab in the back.
What would you like to
He likes
discuss?
it in the back, Jack. He likes it in the back fast and hard. Jack, you have not answered any of my questions today. You've deflected. You've thrown the news in between us. You've said I'm going to love you when I'd kick you in the teeth. I'd kick you in the teeth just to set you on fire and not put it out. And the idea that I reposted what you did to Rachel Wilson and you and this enabling whatever the fuck he is have the nerve to still describe it like she was in the wrong. Like her and Easy came to start trouble. No, they were very cordial and informative. It's posted on my channel, Denizen. You don't be a jack sucker. Like you're already an atheist.
Nothing to do with
bound for
Jack.
hell. You'll have all of eternity to suck Jack off in hell.
It's all about Rachel's behavior. Got nothing to do
Rachel
with
was
Jack.
perfectly polite. Rachel did not do anything but put herself through what we've all
came
wasted
up
our time
here.
with.
She came up here to be insulting and condescending under the guise of being understanding.
Are
It's
you sure
disingenuous.
about
It's
that?
mentally lazy. Yeah, I put money on it.
Into it, Jack. Guys, it's on my channel. Jack looks ridiculous. I don't get along with
It's all
Speakeasy, and I
Speakeasy
agree
does.
with all. Are you just talking over me?
Speakeasy's entire existence on YouTube is doing exactly that. Looking for
No,
fights
that's
on the
your buddy.
internet
That's
with people
your
that
buddy
he doesn't
posting.
respect because of their viewpoints. And the only reason he
Uh,
doesn't respect their viewpoints is because they're the opposite of his viewpoints. And he's a
talk for him,
very
because you're wrong.
insecure,
Don't talk for
myopic
him, and don't
little man.
over me.
And that's why he goes out on YouTube looking to put down other people for their views. And
Yeah.
Rachel Wilson and the whole Wilson, gang are no different. That's what
Are
his
you
show
done?
is about. That's how he debates people, just by insulting them and putting them down and calling them names. And he's also a drunk, an abusive drunk, and I don't believe that his doctor tells him to smoke either. So it doesn't seem very Christian-like to me.
I don't disagree. Much of what you said. I put Tommy in the back so you could get the words out. But here, whoops, where'd it go? So for those who are interested, this is a direct link to what Tommy's talking about, where he captured the exchange between me and Speakeasy and Rachel Wilson. So there's no dispute of what happened. It's just, well, I guess there is a dispute of what happened. Sorry for that, Machine Lies, but
No, no, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, I think I saw some of what he covered in that exchange, and I have to say he was totally dishonest. Right, he was totally dishonest in his coverage. Right, it was more, true to the fact of what I said. Right, that this one, that this person was brought in under her own tradition. She's not allowed to speak, on behalf of the principles that she's alluding to. Right, and so his so-called coverage of that fact was to promote the total pogo actors online, right? So, we have to think, what is Illuminati's true intention here, right? Is it to promote these people that go on Piers Morgan? And of course, he tried to interrupt when we were talking about the Zionist agenda. So, it's pretty clear to me, what's actually going on here. There's gatekeepers, there's people trying to distract from a real conversation, and and they're improv actors, probably paid to do it. Honestly.
I think they're just product of society.
You muted yourself, Jack. Again.
Thank you. I think these are just products of society. Agents of chaos, right? That's what Tommy and Snafu and many others have grown into. They don't realize that's what they're doing, but the act of running around interrupting constantly.
Yeah, I even see Snafu inadvertently expose somebody, right? He talks about Larry Ellison. He talks about the greater crimes that are out there, right? What does Illumitami even expose, other than himself, on the panels?
Sure. That's what these panels are. I've seen a bunch of grown children acting pretty juvenile and pretending to be tough. And I guess that's what egos do. But see, an ego, that's the insecure part of us. That's what I'm talking about. The insecure part of us that's all impatient and needy and wants to fight. It's like a child. I mean, it's a natural part of us, but we're here to grow out of that. There's a big difference between Snafu and Tommy, and you pointed it out. Snafu is right about some of the things he's looking at in the bigger picture. For whatever reason, I've been in his sights for a long time. Well, it's helped me learn to trust in God, for sure. Because there's a perfect order to nature. The way we were raised may not be natural. The way we live may not be natural. But we can learn how to become comfortable and natural with who we are. And it comes through commitment to honesty, truly. When we commit to ourselves to being honest, That's when we become authentic. And here, I may have mentioned it, maybe I didn't. My private texts with Snafu. He loves to offer me his opinions, and it's quite hilarious sometimes. But what I suggested to him is true for many others. See, it's people who feel insecure, they start attacking. They find excuses to attack others. But what I found healing for myself was the practice of apologizing. It's tough to say I'm sorry. It's tough to say I was wrong. But truly, it's the only way to have a clear conscience. And once you start apologizing for your errors more often, and you truly mean it, you truly work to improve yourself, you're going to get sick of apologizing, just like I have. I've had to apologize for my anger and my temper, my tone and my language many times. And I don't like doing that. So the other part I noticed is I have to apologize a lot less when I stop judging others.
They beg for judgment so hard. Right? It's like the kid throwing a tantrum in the middle of a store, and then he takes the toy that his mother hasn't even paid for yet and smashes it on the ground. And then he starts yelling horrible things at his mother. And you're like, how do I take this kid's side? Where do I find the compassion and love for this kid,
It's a great example. And
Parenting's got to be hard, man.
It can be. And yet, it'll transform you. And being kind, being loving while someone's having a moment, it makes an impact. It really transforms people.
Well, shit, it transforms you, if nothing else.
That's the key. Hey, I feel my energy fading. It's been a while. I want to thank both of you and all who showed up. But any final words from you guys?
No, just thanks. This was fun, and I appreciate your insight. Like, we should do this kind of panel more often, especially with my friend TML here.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Denizen.
Same.
Hey, I agree with you. Much love to you, Denizen. Appreciate you swinging through for sure. Machine Lies, how about you, brother?
Yeah, I just want to cap off that last little thing that we were on. Obviously, Low-Key is Palestinian, right? So a little bit of his background in journalism and activism. But other than that, it's important to note that Rupert Murdoch, as he exposed, he owns a lot of media in Australia, right? Almost all of the media in Britain, right? Like Sky News and a bunch of other stuff. He owns the New York Post. He owns the Wall Street Journal. He owns Fox News. He owns 20th Century Fox and all of the subsequent media, right? So there's 6 major media companies, and Murdoch is one of the main owners. Right now, all 6 of those companies have ties to Israel, right? So you guys could look into that. So that's some of the things I'd like to bring forward about what we watch. But yeah, blessings, brother Jack, and thank you. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Hey, much love to you, sincerely. And to all who joined in, those especially who are here with me, God bless you. Sincerely, thank you. And if you tune in later, you catch these words at a different time, bless you, and thank you to you too. I do think maybe I will share some more of the news. I mean, it does get me fired up. I'm passionate about what I see. I'm really passionate about what I believe. And what I believe in most is love. It truly is. It's the power from God that is to be known, shared, discovered, grown, Love is waiting for you, just like love was waiting for me. Once I found it, I realized it was always there. It was always there with me. The love of God, the love of life, it's available for you too. It's just, do you have the eyes? Do you have the willingness to see? Has God graced you with the eyes that can see the beautiful, that can see the potential? Can you see the potential for justice? Can you see the potential for change? Can you see the potential for better? Can you see the potential for overcoming, especially in the darkness, especially in times of darkness where the future looks painful, where it might be not comfortable now? Can you see it? You can. I'm telling you, you can. And if you allow yourself, you can. You can see the beauty. You can see the potential. You can see the way, the solution. It's all right there. It's all right here. My thoughts today earlier on the story of Jesus. It is the path for me. I resisted it. I fought it. And then I started trying it out. And it proved to be pretty helpful. You know, being able to sleep at night, being able to feel good about, yeah, that's not a problem anymore. I don't worry about that. It's not a big deal, right? If you can allow yourself to have that flexibility and that just allow yourself to flow, man, God is there for you. Life is there for you. The spirit and the essence, the knowing that Jesus, the Christ, that spirit is eternally available within the mind, consciousness of every one of us. Should we find it? Should we believe in it? Should we trust it? Then it's there. Just like everything. Praise God. Sincerely. My mind's going back to that. I'm going to go check out. Actually, I'm going to reflect and pause. I'm going to spend more time thinking about God. Maybe check out more about what we saw, the actual speeches and what's been said. Who knows what the day will bring. Till next time, thank you again. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all. Peace.